Ladies and gentlemen, we are live, and back at it again. You know it's Wednesday, so you know what that means. It means winter is coming. It means it's AEW Dynamite tonight. It means we got all your action and reaction here at the Wrestling for Life Network. I hope everyone out there is happy, healthy, and safe. You got Wednesday in the books, and we're going to cap it off with a little bit of wrestling tonight. It's going to be a fun one, so strap in, strap on, grab your snacks, grab your feel good, and let's go. Ding, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, we are the Wrestling for Life Network. It's a wonderful Wednesday. It's a white Wednesday as winter is coming, and we're going to get into all the action on a stacked AEW Dynamite tonight. I hope everyone out there is doing happy, healthy, and well, and I hope you're ready for some wrestling tonight. We got lots to talk about, lots to get into, so make sure you get in that chat, hit like, hit subscribe. I think we're pushing 100 likes already on stream, so get it up over to those 3 digits and make sure you be a friend, tell a friend. The nicest gift you can give this channel is telling somebody about us and spreading the word of the Wrestling for Life Network for the holidays. We thank you again for joining us. Big shout out to Big Nick, Luna, and Anthony, who are all doing their thing right now. Hope they're doing well. And folks, like I said, a busy night ahead for AEW Dynamite. We got John Moxley, Swerve Strickland, part of the Continental Classic, Jay White, Mark Briscoe, T's and P's. Rush is taking on Jay Lethal. Roderick Strong taking on Hangman, which is a little bit of an interesting one. We will talk about that. Riho returns to beat Ruby Soho. Poor Ruby. And Brody King is going to take on Andrade. So lots going on the card. Lots on tap here tonight. I see the chat already filling up. And like I said, don't be shy. Don't be a stranger. Get in that chat and make sure you get your voice heard by the channel, the voice of the voiceless, as we always say. Maybe we kind of always say. But either way, it's going to be a fun one tonight. I'm looking forward to it. And again, we were looking forward to last week's Dynamite. This week, same thing. On paper, it looks really good. A lot of mixed reviews, a lot of mixed feelings about last week's Dynamite. I know some people said it was great. Some people said not so much. And as usual, I think my opinion was very straightforward last week when we did this. Very much a good card that didn't quite deliver. I think there were some mistakes made. I think some of the way things played out, including Nick Wayne's mom, wasn't the greatest. And unfortunately, at the end of the night, it felt kind of flat. We were missing some notes here. But that all being said, they get another chance at it here tonight. Should be interesting. Should be a fun one. It should bring a lot of action, if nothing else. Like I said, a list of really good matches, of course, on the docket. Riho does return. Again, I'm not the biggest Riho fan. Some people out there are thrilled about it. I have a very, very big suspicion that Ruby Soho is just going to do a job for Riho tonight, but I will say we will find out. We'll get into all of it. We'll see what they have in store for us here. But all in all, if nothing else, Wednesdays are always interesting, always fun, and we will talk all about it. Damien's here saying, looking forward to Brody King versus Andrade. Always looking forward to something. Also looking forward to Mox and Strickland. Mox and Strickland, to me, is the most interesting match on the card. It really is very interesting. Who will take this one? I truly think it's a coin toss. Mox undefeated. Swerve's undefeated. Swerve's hot right now. Probably should take this W, but Mox is Mox and doesn't take a lot of L's. So we will see what this one has in store for everybody out there. I see Ronnie. I see AJ. I see Steve G. Kevin's here. Tony's here. Mega's with us. Jake, the tribal chief, is back in the house. What's up? What's up? What's up? Bobby, Mega, I think I got you already. Chris LeClaire, good to see you. I feel like it's been a minute. Today is the 1-year anniversary of Roxanne Perez ending Mandy Rose's 413 days as NXT Women's Champion. Yes, it is. I mean, a year flies by, folks. We're about to flip the calendar, and it's hard to imagine that, Roxy shows up. Mandy was on her way out in a really unexpected situation. And yeah, that was 1 year ago today. Richard Jr., good to see you. Eric Tate, welcome back. Keyshawn, always a pleasure. AJ, I think it said you. Larry, Gary, Larry, Greg, Damian, Paul. And I will remind everybody out there, I am Mr. Every Night, KJ White, the Iron Man at YouTube. Excited to be back doing this again. And like I always say, folks, we are the channel that just covers more live wrestling than anyone else out there. If you see anyone else claiming to be the best live stream, double check them, send them this way. We'll set them straight. But let's talk a little wrestling. Let's see what is on the mind of the peeps. Bobby ready for Mox? I know. We'll see. I mean, Moxley's an interesting one. We keep talking about whether or not he'll take some time off. Instead, he seems to be thrusted right into this. Still possible that we see a lot of the members of the BCC at the top of the docket when all is said and done in this tournament. I will ask the fans who are currently here right now, the early birds, how are you feeling about the Continental Cup? Are you liking it? Are you liking the format? Are you liking the feel of it? Let me know out there what you think. Are you enjoying the Continental Classic? I call it the Continental Cup because it's, cute. No Shield members take many, if any, losses, whether it be Seth, Roman, and Moxley. We'll add something to say for the Shield. Still, after all these years, 3 guys sitting at the top. I think it was this year with the PWI, all 3 guys, 1, 2, 3. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue. I mean, Mox has done his thing. I see rumors about Mox potentially going back to the WWE. I don't see that being true. I've seen rumors about Seth going to AEW. I don't see that being true, but times will tell. What's up, Boston? How you doing? Who will win at this Friday? Carmelo Hayes or Grayson Waller? Hayes. If Carmelo Hayes wins, he'll be at WWE SmackDown next week. But if Grayson Waller wins, Carmelo Hayes stays in NXT. I think Carmelo wins, and he's not done with NXT. We've seen this before when you got, some of the wrestlers get gradual call-ups, and they kind of do double duty for a bit. And then they kind of float away from NXT. But I can see that being the case here with Carmelo. Carmelo's had an amazing year. He was a proud champion. He's found his groove. He's got a look. He's got an attitude. He can wrestle. So I think he's going to beat Waller. I do. And then I do think that we will still get more of this whole Trick, Carmelo, Ilya storyline. If you guys didn't see it last night on NXT, go check out our reaction to it all. But Carmelo Hayes basically blames Ilya for taking out Trick. Trick kind of believes him, but nobody else does, including the fans that were in attendance instantly started yelling and chanting, Carmelo's guilty. So interesting storyline. But yeah, I don't think, win or lose, I don't think Carmelo is done with NXT. We've seen a lot of wrestlers do double duty here. So it wouldn't surprise me either way. Swerve Mox going to be a bloodbath, literally. Well, here, the interesting part, right? We might get blood, but we're going to get anybody drinking blood. I know it's not Paige out there, but maybe that's the next step. Maybe Mox will lick Swerve's forehead tonight. I have no idea. You never know what to expect. Like I said, if nothing else, AEW is always entertaining. Part of tonight's show, the Von Erichs are going to be in the house. That will be interesting. A lot of buzz about the Iron Claw. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the pictures going around the internet. MJF with Liv Morgan, MJF with CJ Perry, MJF with everybody in it. Oh, Cena, Corbin. I saw that Taya Valkyrie was there with Johnny Morrison. So a big show up and show out for the wrestling community. A lot of people looking forward to this movie, and any wrestling enthusiasts out there, if you don't know the Von Erich story, make sure you check out the Iron Claw. For all reports, it was done very well. And whether you're a wrestling fan or not, this is going to be a good one. Mox the best Mox for the win. Mox the best Mox. Okay, there you go. The best Mox for the win. We'll see. We'll see if he's crushing bones and drinking blood. Matches are good. Tournament is confusing as hell. Yeah, I mean, I understand the take that the tournament format is a little confusing. I get that, but at the end of the day, I understand why they did a round robin, what they were trying to go for here. As a guy that kind of grew up in a tournament world as far as sports goes, with hockey and such, round robins were a common occurrence. So yeah, basically what the round robin is, every wrestler fights the people in their division once, and whoever has the most points at the end of that will move on. And I was told last week, I believe it's one person from each league will move on. I thought it would be kind of cool if you had two, kind of did like a semifinal, then a final, or maybe even a crossover. But I think we're just going 1-1 on this one. Mox is Mox is Tash. Mox is trash. Swerve's house. Mox is Tash. I'll go with Tash, Paul. But yeah, no, Mox. I got a lot of issues with Mox, and I think it's similar to a lot of criticisms that other people have given. I just want Mox to sell. I'm not saying Mox can't be a good wrestler. I think my issue with Mox is for the last 4 years, it's exactly the same. He's never really in dire straits. He's never pushed to the limit. He's never really shown his range of character. He's just Mox. And his matches are the same. If you've seen one Mox match, you've seen most of them. There's a 9 out of 10 chance he's going to bleed. Yeah, that's my issue with Mox. And the biggest problem I have with him, he sells nothing. He sells absolutely nothing, which makes it hard for me as a fan to get into the match. I want to believe. I want to see you work. I want to think you're down and out. I want to know that big move you just got hit with feels as bad as it looks. I want you to show some wear and tear. Other than your bleeding forehead, I want you to show me some pain. I want to see some angst. And that's what I think lacks with Mox in a lot of regards. Like, even when he loses, there's a lot of times you see him like the winner is celebrating and he's just sitting in the corner. He's not injured. He's just chilling. We saw it in Blood and Guts. He wasn't hurt. He was just sitting there, almost bothered that he had to take the L. So I want a little more from Mox. I know people love Mox, and there's potential there. When Mox first came to AEW, I popped. I thought it was huge. Takes out Kenny. Like, this is going to be great. I just think 4 years later, I've seen it. I've been there. I've done that. It feels like a rerun. Boston, how you feeling? How you feeling? Bobby to Boston, I like it. Haven't followed it much. Well, we're back at it again tonight. And I mean, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. The final is going to be at World's End, which is just a couple weeks away, at the end of the year here. And it will be very interesting. I'm just trying to pull up. I want to see if I can pull up the standings. And we'll talk about it real quick. AEW standings. All right, let's see. What do we have? What do we have here? Give it to me. Of course not. All right. You think this would be like on the front page of AEW's website, but apparently not. Dun, 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 dun. So right now, Swerve Strickland, 9 points. John Moxley, 9 points. Jay White, 6 points. Rush is sitting at 3. Jay Lethal, 0. Mark Briscoe, 0, which is unfortunate. Brody King, 6 points. Andrade, 6 points. Brian Danielson, 6 points. So the Blue League's a lot more congested than the Gold League, that's for sure. Eddie Kingston, 3 points. Claudio, 3 points. And Danny all alone in the basement with 0 points. So very interesting how the standings are setting up. Obviously, this match here tonight will break a first place tie in the Gold division. So that will be interesting unto itself. Now, I want to see if I can find the grid, and we'll talk a little bit about that. What else is the chat saying? Lethal is a dead man walking. Yeah. Oh, and I got the start of the show. Well, I'm rambling away looking at stats. But I got Samoa Joe on our TV, folks. So make sure you turn up your volume on me, not them. You don't need to hear them. As we get picture-in-picture replay of last week with the Masked Man, this is one of the issues we did talk about last week. I don't like how this played out. I don't like how it kind of happened. The double challenges them to a tag match, and then negates the match that he requested, that he, set up. To jump one of the two, to me, didn't really make sense. Didn't really add up. But I think what bothered me more than that was MJF got jumped and we never saw it again. It went away. There was no backstage. How many times have we had MJF in the medical room giving a promo? Nothing this time. And that, to me, kind of left us high and dry. The crowd's live. Joe, what I believe is going to be your new AEW champion in a couple weeks. What's good, TJ Hook? How you doing? How you doing? Michael Harper. Mox is the Fiend, okay. Or is a Fiend. John Moxley feels no pain. I must break you. Yeah, that's better. Uh-oh. So Joe feels like he's been made to look like a liar. I'm feeling fine. John Morrison had a great career for AEW. Did he now? Did he, Paul? Did he really? I like that. Dalton Castle versus Commander versus Kyle Fletcher versus Lee Moriarty versus Lee Johnson. Mystery opponent at Final Battle Survival of the Fittest match. Yes, we will be here live on Friday. It will be a triple header Friday here on the channel as we cover SmackDown, Rampage, and Ring of Honor. Kind of a weird thing. But yeah, we'll cover all three. Dun, dun, dun. Now, do you... Oh, so Joe putting it on Hangman, just throwing it out there. And giddy up. Here comes cowboy shit. Dun, 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 dun. So could it be Hangman? Would it be Hangman? I feel like it's just a red herring at this point. There's no way it's going to be Hangman Page, right? Right? Come on now. KJ, the Continental Classic has been the reason thus far of both Dynamite and Collision being good shows right now. But what then after the whole tournament is over? TK better think of what to cook. Well, listen, TK is about to go into... I don't even know how to describe it. But when we flip this calendar to 2024, TK's in tough. You got Rumble, you got Elimination Chamber, you got Mania. The next 3 months could be WWE heavy as far as the reports go. Tony's got to have some shit up his sleeve for sure. I argued he might almost want to expand, kind of like when they first started and they wanted to be sports-based wrestling, expand the Continental Classic to be more of a seasonal tracking. But he's got to have a plan, and you're right. The Continental Classic has given us really good matches. It negates the poor booking of Tony. And I know some people still think that Tony Khan's the Booker of the Year, but if you feel that way, it's unfortunate because he's missing the mark in 2023. But at the end of the day, the Continental Classic negates his weakness, which is telling stories, and he can just build good matches. Mox versus Swerve is a good match. Andrade versus Danielson's a good match. As we go through this tournament, we're getting, with Brody King's in good matches. Eddie Kingston, we're not quite sure about. He's in good matches, but he's not getting the right result. Oh, here's Adam on Roddy screaming Samoa. Roddy out of the wheelchair. A nice pop for Roddy, though. What's up, Brandon? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Good to see you come to my side on Joe being champ. Boston, I'm with you, man. I really think, especially with the reports of MJF being a little banged up, even if it's not a long run, and I know my boy Nick's not going to like hearing this, but again, something different. Change it up. Give us a wow moment. Holy shit, Samoa Joe just won the belt. Give us something like that, and I think right at the end of the year is a great place to do it. Let Max heal up, fix his hip, fix his labrum, I think it is, get, repaired, and then get back into it. Roddy with the mustache kills me. He looks like an off-duty cop with a neck brace. And I guess we're going to start the show with Hangman and Roddy. They're scheduled to fight, and they're both in ring gear. So Roddy thinks Max is the devil. Joe thinks Hangman's the devil. MJF's nowhere to be found. And ding, 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 big right hand. Paige throwing a punch. Does that make him look more guilty? All right, folks, let's have it. Who is the devil? You might have had an opinion before. We've all thrown out theories. As we sit here tonight, who is your best guess for the man behind the mask? I think it's multiple men. Obviously, we've seen multiple people. But who's the leader of what we're dealing with? Who's the guy pulling the strings? I still wish it was Tony Khan. I'm not going to lie. Let's go, Tony. As Aubrey's in the ring. And ding, ding, we got our opening match. And folks, we take a prediction on every match. We take a rating out of 10 at the end of the night. So make sure you get in that chat. Don't be shy. Don't be quiet. Who are you taking? And my buddy Damien taking Roderick Strong for the win. The table is at ringside tonight. Dun, dun, dun. Typical Hangman. Yeah. I struggle with Hangman. As Taven has found a neck strong sign. There you go. I hope Joe says coward shit. I didn't hear him say it, but it would have worked. Roderick and the Kingdom are definitely the culprits. They're just shifting the blame to get the smoke off them. Ironic. I feel like I saw that last night on a show where the most guilty looking man in the room was passing blame. Yes, I still believe that this is connected to Adam Cole. I believe that's your payoff. I believe that's your money booking. I've said it. I'm hard pressed. Outside of Tony Khan, I'm hard pressed to think of anybody being the masked man that works, that pays off. If it happens to be Dolph Ziggler, if it happens to be Mustafa Ali, if it happens to be Britt Baker, I don't think any of those work. I don't think any of those dial in. I don't think any of those set you up in a good place. I don't. However, and I know I'm joking with TK, but man, it would be hilarious. TK and the Bucks. There you go. You start like the Elite Alliance, right? Like the EVP Alliance, and Tony Khan's the evil man behind it. And you know what, MJF? I hate you. I hate you for putting me through everything. You called me a mark on TV. You don't respect me. You demanded more money. You're always threatening to leave. I'm sick of your shit, and me and these annoying little brats are going to take you out. Why not? Fuck it. Are you fine with Athena versus Billy Starks as the main event of Final Battle, KJ? Yes or no? No. And yes. Based on what's booked, yes, Damien. Based on what should be booked, no. I think we've seen the Ring of Honor belts kind of be scattered all over the place. The tag titles are not in Ring of Honor. The heavyweight champion is now in a tournament. They're the championships in a tournament. I think Ring of Honor feels like an afterthought. It's on a Friday night. It's going to go up against SmackDown. I think it's an afterthought. I really do. We're getting matches, 7 days before, 8 days before the actual pay-per-view. Not a whole lot of build. I think Athena's been great. I think Billy Starks wins this, and I think it's time for Athena to join the main roster. Or get off a Ring of Honor, get into AEW. I think that's what's next for Athena. She's done well. She's got personality. She's figured out this heel gimmick. I think it works well for her. So I'm all for this match. I'm a big fan of Billy Starks. And as the main event, well, the ladies are going to have to show up and show out. The Ring of Honor card isn't that robust, put it that way. And Tony reminding us that winter is coming, marked the arrival of Sting in AEW. So maybe we'll get some other arrivals here tonight. As Hangman up and over, Roddy down. Dun dun dun. Hangman is a troublemaker. Is he? Is he? He doesn't really feel like a troublemaker. It feels like he's pouty more than a troublemaker. As Taven causing trouble, Roddy back in the ring, step up into Guri. And Roderick going to take over thanks to the kingdom. I'm not here to make money. I'm here to make friends. They should put that on a fucking t-shirt, AJ. Honestly. I'm not here to make money. I'm here to make friends. Exactly. As we're going into picture and picture. Hangman kind of feels like a mixture of Seth and Drew. Seth's physique and Drew's character. Richard, that is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I mean, Hangman can wrestle. And I was a big fan of Hangman in Ring of Honor. I thought, especially when he was a heel and he was kind of trying to take over, and he had a lot of issues with the Bucks and their friends. But in AEW, he's just fallen flat. I don't believe his promos. I don't think he doesn't come off genuine. And I think like Drew McIntyre, there's just this lack of connection. I partly wonder if he works better as just a full-blown heel. He probably could use a manager or at least be in a group that allows him to insulate himself a little bit. But in ring, he's not bad in ring. I just feel like he's another great example of a guy who's been around 4 years just doing his thing. And if you had given Adam Page and others just something a little more, right? Stop selling the sizzles. Give us some steak. It's got to be more than just sizzle. And I think that's where, even with Page as champion, it was a little bit meh, right? Like you weren't into it. You weren't, oh my God, like this is so intense. We saw what we got on Monday between Punk and Seth. That is feel. That is genuine. There's elements of truth, but you believe both guys. That's what this is lacking. You need to believe in both guys. You got to feel it. Hangman for the win. Never fear. Larry's here. Welcome back, Larry. Good to see you. I think the Young Bucks are the devil. I really hope not, Damien. It would be really upsetting. What about if the devil is a McMahon? Man, listen, if it I'm all for nonsense blowing up the world, but yeah, I can't see it. But man, would it be hilarious? It'd be even better if it was Shane. All right, go Shane McMahon. It'd be hilarious. He doesn't like Triple H. Perfect place for him. I said that TK Bucks and Perry. I said that before. There you go, JV. All right, all right, all right. We're on the same page then, my guy. Great minds, great minds. Joe is going to be the devil. I don't want Joe to be the devil. If Joe is the devil, if someone else is the devil, what comes of the rivalry / friendship between between MJF and Adam Cole? Where's the payoff for that? How do you tie that in? What do you get out of it, guys, if it's not Adam Cole causing all this trouble? I'm just curious. If anybody has a guess, I'm all ears. I have a feeling that the devil is MJF, Cole in the kingdom, and it's all a swerve. Maybe. Last week gave that vibe, didn't it? Last week kind of made you like, even Roddy pointed it out tonight that, MJF went down. There was nobody to be found. There was nobody around him. If it's MJF just being like, I told you I was the devil all along, I think it's bad. I don't think that's the turnout we want here, guys, because he's been sold as such a baby face for so long. So then he goes evil and what? Goes right back to being the heel that he is, which he maybe probably should have always been. Why did the good guy kind of come up with this ruse? There was no reason for the ruse. As both men go down. Good match to open Dynamite tonight. It'll be hilarious if the devil was Tony. It'd be awful if it's Jack Perry. Jack Perry would be hilarious. But if it was Tony and maybe Jack Perry and the Young Bucks, it's just like maybe even Colt Cabana, the I Hate CM Punk group, right? We can go with that. We can go with, the cult of no personality. I mean, I like your theory on booking, but do you think Tony can cut a convincing promo to make it work? I don't. Yeah, that'd be the tough part, right? How do you get the guy that hugs everybody to come off like, I don't know. I think I could see Tony being bratty. If that, like, for a lack of better term, guys, like I think Tony could come off with a bit of a, the Richie Rich snottiness. Could he do it convincingly? You'd have to tap into something. But you remember at some of the media scrums when he gets asked a question that he's not really happy about, kind of when he popped off about how AEW was being compared to WCW, or do you remember when they asked Tony about, people are questioning Punk and blah blah blah, and he freaked out, he got all wide eyed. If he can kind of become that wide eyed whiny guy, it might work. It's there. I think it's there because I could see him being like that, like throwing little temper tantrums, especially if his video, when his controller battery's dying and he's losing. I could definitely see him throwing a temper tantrum or two. So I'm all for it if they could pull it off. But again, it's highly unlikely. But if you try and set AEW's version of Austin Stone Cold, might sell tickets, might give people a reason to tune in. But that group's going to get their shit together if they're going to try it. Highly unlikely. As Adam Page is in control, crowd's pretty noisy in the building tonight. Roddy struggling to his feet. Dun dun dun. Big boo, big boo. Mox is in the house. What if Don Callis is the devil? If Don Callis is the devil, Sassy, I think it would be a little disappointing because to me it would be out of left field. We haven't really got a conclusion on Callis and the Golden Jets. So if he just all of a sudden decided to pick on MJF and his friends, I don't quite get the connection. Callis is already getting a shit ton of heat without being the devil. So I don't know. And again, what's your payoff, right? MJF versus Takasha? MJF versus who? Kyle Fletcher? Maybe. I don't know. Oh, Page lands on his feet. Pop-up powerbomb! We got a two. Roddy's neck looking strong. Well, and welcome, Sassy. Thank you for joining us. Tony's Dark Nightmare. Good to see you, buddy. Speaking of Tony Khan and his nightmares. Hilarious. Got that one. Here we go. So that means there's no Ring of Honor World title. No. And, there won't be. It's technically being dissolved into the Continental Classic title thing, as far as I understand it. And if anyone out there wants to correct me and let me know if I have a misguided viewpoint, but the Ring of Honor title, the New Japan title are going to merge into this brand new title. So basically 3 titles have been on display every match. 2 count for Roddy. I will say I'm enjoying this match. I'm enjoying the kickoff to this show. We are getting to hear from the Golden Jets. Oh, always a wonderful moment when we get to hear from the Golden Jets. Like I said, I've said this multiple times on this channel. Right now, I feel bad for Kenny Omega. And again, maybe he's loving it. I don't know. Like Jericho and Omega don't seem like they have great chemistry in and out of the ring. They don't, to me. And this whole Golden Jets thing, I don't know. It's never got over with me from the beginning. It's just another guy that, Jericho looks around and says, well, who's next to steal some clout from? Whose neck am I going to suck on next? Pause. But Roddy in the Boston Crab, Page getting to the ropes. Dun, dun, dun. Do you see any returns? Well, we got Riho last week, man. And again, I think when Tony feels pressure, that's when you see returns. That's when you see new signings, kind of increase. Who could return right now? Who's been out and could come back? Maybe is Jamie Hayter slated to come back? I don't know if we're going to get Tony tonight, so I don't know. I don't know if she's ready yet. Oh, moonsault by Page, setting up the buckshot. Aubrey being distracted. Bennett down. Oh, big boot, big boot. And Hangman go to the top. Roddy, there you go. Roddy, consummate professional, selling it. And another moonsault. And a Hori, what? Oh, goes for the butt shot. Roderick says, not today. Oh, wait, nice move. 2. They kind of botched that. And Aubrey found herself out of position. Little late on the count. Oh, the knee blocks it. Nice. Adam Cole looks like a guy who would go to sleep at 7 p.m. on a weekend if he's free. Fair enough, man. And Adam Page, Hangman with the W, as he won with a dead eye. It was a good match, guys. That was a good match. The heel had some misdirection. The babyface fought through it. Not bad. I will take this to start the night. Hangman started all the shit with Punk. Steve, you know what? That's a fact that many people overlook. And I've debated this with a lot of people about the whole Punk situation and people going on about what a horrible role model he is and what a horrible person he is. And multiple people, not one or two, multiple people feel that way. And for me, I mean, we see pictures coming out left, right, and center. Punk hanging around at the Performance Center, giving people tips at NXT. Seems pretty well received. So I think that we overlook, and I still don't give Punk a pass on it completely. So we're looking at the standings right now, 6-6-6. So as I mentioned, pardon me. So the only person in the blue division, blue league without a win is Daniel Garcia, Jay Lethal, and Mark Briscoe, who are yet to face each other. Also, both had zeros. And then Moxley and Strickland. The interesting part of this is whoever loses this match will then potentially have Jay White win and have 9 points for that second place spot. You following along, connecting the dots, the bouncing ball working for everybody out there. As we head into a commercial break, folks, I will remind everybody, if you're just tuning in, we are the Wrestling for Life Network. We cover more live wrestling than anyone else out there, and we are here all week long. Of course, tomorrow, Luna and Anthony will be here for Impact. Friday's going to be a triple header as we got Ring of Honor Final Battle, plus SmackDown, plus Rampage. Saturday's Collision and who knows what else. We're working on some year-end specials. The voting has started to go out. If you haven't seen it yet, go to our community tab on our YouTube and start voting. I believe best male is up, best female is up, best tag team is up. So get your votes in as our award show. I believe we're aiming for December 28th will be the next edition of the annual For Lifeies, the golden KJs, if you will. So make sure you hit like and subscribe, guys. We got so much more coming your way. And we can't wait till 2024. Like I keep telling everybody, we're not even 2 years old yet, and we're burning at a clip. So, hello, Jordan. How you doing? Punk outgrew the Indies, and AEW is the Indies with a bunch of guys who think they are stars and the shit. Punk cares too much, so he flipped his lid. He's at fault. They're at fault. Punk will be fine. Amen, brother. That's a simple way to put it. And to be honest, I said it, again, if you are an abrasive person, if you're strongly opinionated, and you walk into a place where you think you can help, yeah, I'd understand where that would get frustrating. It's a pickle I get myself in at times where just being too blunt. This is what I think, love it or hate it. And I think in that environment, there was so many people, especially at the top of the management, that were used to doing it their way. And all of a sudden, this guy comes in and says, hey, that match might be a little better if you did this, or this might be better if you did that, or no, I don't want to do a Rocky 3 match, Mox. And then suddenly he's an asshole. Suddenly the cancer is back. So listen, I think for everybody involved, AEW, WWE, Punk, the Elite, I don't care who's right. I don't care who's wrong. Everybody gets to move on now. If AEW believed that Punk was the problem, this is their opportunity to prove otherwise. If Punk believed AEW was the problem, this is his opportunity to prove otherwise. If Punk goes to WWE and causes shit and gets kicked out, well, you can't say much after that. But I said it from day one with this whole situation. You got to turn it into money. WWE's turning it into money. And at the end of the day, Punk has a point to prove. This is Punk's vindication tour. He wants to leave a legacy. I don't think he wants to be remembered as the guy that never quite made it to his peak or his pinnacle. I think he wants to leave a legacy. And that's why you see him so focused on NXT. Funny stories of him potentially wanting to replace Shawn Michaels one day. As we're back from commercial break, Brody King coming out to the ring. What did that match do? Nothing. You didn't like that match? Hangman wins. Yes, he does. I don't think that was ever in doubt. I didn't think Hangman was going to lose to Roddy. Roddy's become a bit of a gimmick. The Kingdom, I think, how many matches have the Kingdom won since they were signed? Two in a year. Daniel, what if that's the angle? 0-1. There you go. As Andrade El Idolo coming out to take on Brody King, and I have to bet on Brody. Come on, let's be real. I got to bet on Brody, guys. I don't disagree. He does need to lose weight, but I doubt the weight would affect Triple H's booking of him. Now, let me work back up to this one because I love when we talk about Chubby. What are we doing? Pause. Match was too long. Fair enough. I thought it was a good match, guys. Thought it was back and forth. I thought I was pretty happy with the match. And as a guy who's been fairly critical week in and week out, I thought the opening match was pretty good. The devil may be fish. See, I don't know if that works. I know Kyle O'Reilly's been rumored. I don't think that works. If they're a part of the group, it works. But you need Adam Cole to be the head of that group or somebody to be the head of that group. I don't think weight is a huge deal. Bronson Reed and Ivar. I didn't go far enough. Wow, you guys are blowing it up. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. I would love if it was Sami Callihan. Now, that's one we haven't talked about a lot. A lot of rumors about Sami Callihan joining AEW. A lot of rumors about Sami Callihan reuniting with John Moxley. Him as the devil, I think, would be interesting. I don't really love the tie-in because, again, I feel like we're leaving the Adam Cole angle out in the wind. However, I think if it was Sami Callihan, you could do it better. Well, I know what Sami Callihan can do. I've seen Sami Callihan be a disruptor, be the guy that appears and reappears and causes static and problems. I think it could be really cool, Sassy, but at the end of the day, I don't know. Welcome back, by the way, West V. What if the devil's the actual devil? The rapture is happening and nobody's paying attention because Lucifer is kayfabing. There you go, man. There you go. Say your prayers, take your vitamins. You never know. You never know. Eddie Edwards could be the devil to betray both Joe, MJF, and Roderick Strong to align with OGK at AEW and be a huge. I don't think Eddie Edwards is leaving Impact anytime soon, my guy. Not a terrible theory, but yeah, I mean, that's a bit of a stretch. And again, I think at this point, the devil has to be somebody that makes people say, holy shit. If it's just somebody, it's not going to be good enough. And I will take a prediction on this match as I work through this chat, folks. It doesn't matter if he was the mouthpiece for the Young Bucks. Bottom line, he done it. I don't know what that was. I'm not worried. I would love to see you got that one. Colt needs to stay in Ring of Honor. I don't know if he will. It'll be interesting, though. I mean, listen, I don't have any issue with Colt as far as I think it's hilarious what Punk said. I don't know the man. When I have seen him wrestle, he's a bit funny and he's not a bad pro wrestler. Him in Ring of Honor helping get young talent over is probably where he belongs. You're not wrong. the acolytes with the bat, and I was wearing the same shoes that Wardlow. Yeah, a lot of talk about Wardlow, the boots. Listen, I would, if I was Tony Khan, I would be doing that all day long. I would take 3, 4 guys from the back and say, "Hey, put this on. Go out there. You're going to pretend to be in this group tonight." But yeah, people talked about Wardlow's boots. They talked about Wardlow's hair. When he came out in the next segment, it was all, messed up as if he was just wearing a hat or a mask. As Brody and Andrade just slapping the shit out of each other. Do you think Triple H treat Keith Lee better if he ever came to WWE, KJ? Yes or no? Keith Lee's best booking was under Triple H in recent years. So Keith Lee did really well in NXT. Remember, he was like almost the face of NXT at one point. Him and Dijak were tearing it down. He goes and represents, part of the group that was representing NXT. He's getting big wins on SmackDown. If Keith Lee was able to do what he did a few years ago physically, and Triple H could get his hands on him, potentially. But that all depends. Is Keith Lee the same guy he was a few years ago? Colt needs to go to WWE and make PG Punk go crazy and show his true colors. Could you imagine? Seth brings him out. Hey, Punk, I got a friend for you. Yeah, no. What's up, King, by the way? It has to be Cole. If it's MJF, it gives me vibes of McMahon being the higher power. It was me, Austin. It was me all along. A cop out heel turn that sours the storyline. Yeah, I know. Like I feel the same way. If it's MJF, and I know in the beginning, I know Nick has softened on the argument or the idea a little bit, but I think MJF doesn't get you where you need to go. I hate to ask for the predictable here, but to me, the money payoff has to be Adam Cole. I don't think it could go any other way. But yeah, definitely those vibes of shit, really? Like that's what you don't want the fan base to do. Like, and that's what I think a few of the options, right? If it's Britt Baker, I think a lot of people are gonna go, shit, really? If it's MJF, shit, really? If it's Adam Page, shit, really? As Brody just smacks Andrade to the floor. Whew. Man's got hands like a Louisville slugger. So we go to pitcher and pitcher. The Pizza Hut triple box. I'm not denying he went into business for himself and went shoot mode. Both sides in the situation handled it like children and the elite and Punk alike. 100%, Daniel. 100%. Nobody's innocent in those situations. And truthfully, me and Nick were on this channel, and we kind of surmised that, was Punk looking for the exit? Was Punk looking for, was he walking around back after the whole brawl out and thinking, like, I wish a motherfucker would? And Jack Perry happened to be that guy. I said at the time of All In, why couldn't Punk just be the adult? Let's say Jack Perry pissed him off. Jack Perry walks in the back, looks at him and goes, how do you like that? Or what are you going to do about it? Why couldn't Punk just ignore him, brush him off? Hey, man, I got to go fight Joe in what was going to turn out to be the match of the night here and just move on. And everything would have been copacetic, and then you deal with it later. Same thing with, dealing with the Bucks. But there's a lot of things that I think get overlooked. Imagine you're sitting in your dressing room and the Bucks and friends come bursting in and telling you how things are going to be. You probably get punched in the mouth, even if it was me. Yeah. I mean, again, I think sometimes, especially in 2023, and nowadays, so many people are used to being on keyboards and have this mentality of I can say and do whatever I want, and there is no consequence. But in reality, in real life, when you run your mouth in someone's face, you might get smacked. And I'm not condoning it, but that's just the nature of how things have always been. And nobody's innocent. Punk could have taken better choices. I wonder if that last time, the last issue, Punk just burned it down. Because, funny, see what I did there? I really think that's a possibility. I think Adam Cole is part of the double. Adam Cole is part of the doubles all along with TK and Matt and Nick Jackson and the Young Bucks. That'd be crazy. Tying all those together. But Again, do I see TK being involved? Probably not. But you never know. You never know. You never know. The double is Trick. No. King for the win. Who else got a prediction on this one? There's rumors that Jack Perry will be on his way back to AEW soon. I don't care. I almost think you take him and put him in Ring of Honor for a while. Like, what is Jack Perry going to do? I saw people saying, oh, he's going to be a great heel. But yeah, that only gets you so far. If you're always looking backwards, if you're always looking, in your rear view, then you're not advancing. And I don't know if Jack Perry is strong enough to get himself over consistently as a true believable heel. Everybody knows what happened. Yeah, some people might not like it, but there is part of the fan base that loves, they got Jack Perry posters on their wall because he's a hero. So I don't know. Kingdom looks like some jabronis. Oh, we're back from break and getting a replay of Brody King squishing Andrade outside the ring, but he's in complete control right now inside the ring. King for the win. It was a filler match. The opening match was filler. Roddy versus Adam Page shouldn't feel like filler, should it? Keep it coming, folks. Keep it coming. What's up, Jordan? Big shout out to Big Nick, or Big D, as Luna would call him. Pause. Damien, I pick Reed. He actually more agile. He's younger and more agile, right? Like, and again, I like Keith Lee. As a promo, he's not my favorite. But when he's kind of in that swagger, it's okay. I know he's got that Fraser Crane kind of tone to him. Wow. Andrade with the drop kick to the ankle. Brody hitting the turnbuckle. I want Keith Lee versus Bronson Reed one day. There's two big boys. We keep talking about the meat division. We need a meat division. Bronson, Ivar, Keith Lee, Brody King. Big back elbows. Hangman Page won. Yes, he did. Dun, dun, dun. Probably not, but I'd probably try and help him cut down some, especially since Triple H has his own heart problems and he's been a big, even big. He was mostly on the roids. Yeah, definitely the roids. Here's the thing, and I think we've seen it with a lot of people. We talk about Randy Orton and his body transformation. We see Punk, from the Performance Center. What the WWE provides to you is a state-of-the-art Performance Center. You can go there every day. Speaking of a guy who's got jacked as of late, Andrade showing a little flex. Setting up the knees. The double mask that MJF had on looks a little different from the one we've seen lately. Look at the lips. Look at the lips. It's all in the lips. Oh. Scoop slam by Andrade on Brody. Gets the big man up and down. Triple H would probably... Yeah, listen, whether Triple H likes it or not, Triple H works in an environment where you have to. He was asked about concussion protocol recently, and he discussed that, like, they have some of the best, precautions in all of sports. Like, they take it extremely serious. They really do. Sometimes athletes, you remember the old days where an athlete would come back like 3-4 months before they were due back or wouldn't go out at all. Times have changed, where you hear, the nightmares of Punk, what Punk went through the first time with WWE and his back. And it's not like that anymore. The talent, like in a lot of sports, are looked at as assets that, if they're hurting, you got to take care of them. So, yeah, I think if there was, Keith Lee would have to do a physical. And if he's physically, oh, wow. Clothesline from hell. And Andrade gets the shoulder up. Not bad, not bad. Fish seemed way happier in TNA. I doubt he'd want to go back, even with his friends there. I think Fish is one of those guys. He's just an older guy that kind of says what he thinks. He's got himself in some trouble, some hot water, especially with, like Tony and such, because he's a little too honest. But, Fish is a good hand. Fish, I don't know how I felt about Fish in Impact. Maybe we'll save that question for Anthony and Luna tomorrow. I'd pick Reed, got that one. KJ, please explain something to me. If you're already eliminated from the tournament, what do you care if you win or lose? I think you have to look at it like any other standings, right? Like if you are an NFL team, an NHL team, an NBA team, and you're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, you still want to win. You're then fighting for your own personal pride. And maybe you want to be a spoiler. I mean, you're booked in a match, you're required to do all 5 matches. So maybe mathematically you can't win, but you still want to kick the shit out of whoever you're facing. You don't want to take an L, right? And you'd rather finish the tournament with 6 points than 0, I guess. I get your point, JV. I really do. So I'm just trying to rationalize it a little bit. Wow. That was a clubbing forearm for Brody King. Brody King's a guy that does not get used enough. And this tournament's been great for him. Wow, the back elbow. Andrade. That was seamless and pretty. Got that one. Hey, KJ and Big Nick. What's up, Jordan? When is World's End AEW KJ? I believe it's December 30th. It's the last Saturday of the month. Yeah, Saturday, December 30th. So probably our last stream of 2023 will be AEW World's End, folks, because I don't think we'll be here New Year's Eve. Oh, we will be here New Year's Day. So, but yeah, the last live stream for us will be AEW World's End, December 30th. Tune in. It's going to be a fun one. We're going to feel all types of holiday jive. I see what you're saying, but what a notion. I'm blessed. God is good. I'm very excited for Christmas. How's everything going with you, KJ White and AEW? Jordan, I'm doing well. I'm doing what I do. Another live stream, another night. Wouldn't be a night without Mr. KJ White, I suppose. And having fun hanging out with all of you here tonight. And so far, I'm enjoying what I'm getting from this show. Wow, double hook DDT. Shut the front door. Wow. Sorry, I'm a little shocked, guys. You got to play spoiler. Yeah, I'm with you. Right? Is anyone who picked Andrade? Who picked Andrade for this? Did anybody think Andrade was going to win? What up, Easy Bake? One half of our prediction champions. Woo! Absolutely. I saw a thing for Woo Wings today. It blew my mind. Woo! They just put Woo on everything. Powerhouse Hobbs would fit perfectly in WWE. Hobbs, Wardlow, Ricky Starks. There's a lot. So Andrade moves into first with 9 in the blue. He's got 2 matches left. I can't believe Brody King took the L, guys. That is a man that I'm sorry. I just feel like Brody King should not be losing clean. I almost forgot AEW was on tonight. Vance, you might forget about the wrestling, but don't forget about us. But the Von Erichs are in the house. The Claw. It's the Claw. King for the win. Did anybody take Andrade? Crossbody into Andrade. I'm worried that it's not going to have a good outcome, Paul. And I just think I said it should have paid off at Full Gear. Some people didn't think it was too soon. If it doesn't come to some type of conclusion at World's End, I think we're missing the boat here. If it goes too long, and I think that's what it's starting to do. It's starting to sputter, especially when you're not delivering. If you would have given us that tag match last week and maybe some more clues to who might be behind the mask, I think it would be great. Oh, but the Best Friends and the Von Erichs are all woohoo with Renee Paquette. Well, so much for letting the lead, we get Von Erichs here and you interrupt the time they have on TV. Thanks for coming. Got that one. Well, Punk wanted to go back to WWE before AEW was a thought. So Punk signing with AEW originally is most because he didn't want they didn't want him back. Here comes Kenny Omega. All right, all right, all right. No, yeah, and I listen. I think Punk wanted to wrestle. I think AEW gave him an opportunity for a fresh start to prove to people that he could still do it, still draw. Some mixed reviews on what he did in ring, but he had some amazing matches. I really think that with all the bullshit in at all at the brawl out, that they was in the back of his mind. Like I felt like the Jack Perry thing was like, again, it was just waiting for one moment. Like the next person that rubs me the wrong way, I'm sick of the Ryan Namath of AEW. I'm sick of the Christopher Daniels, the Matt Hardy. All these people are pissing me off. I'm just gonna make something happen. And there was a lot of rumors when he showed up at WWE, and they were like, "Well, Punk showed up, and then was in the parking lot all sketchy, arguing with chatting with Tamina, and then apparently he had a heart-to-heart with Triple H or a talk with Triple H." And I just have a feeling that Triple H looked at him and said, "If it's if it happens, we might be able to talk." And Punk found a way to get out, and he made the phone call, and that's all it took. Not only did Punk get his own show on, not only did he get his own show, but Collision had higher ratings than Dynamite. The Bucks got pissed and they didn't get their way, so they egged on Jack Perry. Listen, and I know Cody Rhodes is a different cat. Cody Rhodes has a different mentality, a different approach. He's more political, but a very similar feel to me. What happened to Cody Rhodes? I think it happened to Punk. I think it happened to Thunder Rosa unfairly. There's stories of like Thunder Rosa's got to apologize to the locker room. I think there is an OG pack mentality in AEW, and I do think that certain people are insecure. I think certain people are doing everything they can to save their spots. And if Nick was here right now, he'd start sky painting WCW because that's what it feels like. Guys are trying to protect their spots instead of doing what's best for business. Instead of getting the company over, instead of getting themselves over, getting others over. Well, he's selling more t-shirts than us. Like that bothers us. Or Cody wants us to wrestle a certain way. He wants us to be more classic like his daddy. We don't want to do that. And I think that's where the discontent comes in. And we've heard others come out and say, you know what, there's some interesting shit going on in that locker room. If you're in, great, everyone's happy. If you're out, it might not be the most comfortable place to be. And when there is no direct leadership, when the inmates are kind of running wild, running the asylum, it makes for a bad workplace. Everyone here has had a bad boss once or twice. And when a place doesn't have any leadership and it's chaos and people are just doing whatever the fuck they want, it makes for a tough day at work. I think a lot of Punk's shit talk about WWE post backstage on Fox was sour grapes due to WWE not wanting him back. Yeah, absolutely. And again, was Punk genuinely pissed off? Did Punk have genuine issues? Yeah. They fired him on his fucking wedding day. Vince said it was an accident. I don't believe so. But, he talked about fighting through injury, but there was also shit that he fucked up. He was given a WrestleMania match against The Undertaker, which I think everybody watching right now would have killed at some point. Oh, yeah, man, you give me a match with The Undertaker. I don't give a fuck what the main event is, but he didn't like it. He couldn't see the forest for the trees. And yeah, it was tumultuous. But I think like any relationship that matters, like people still, like I saw Bully Ray today. Well, I think he's full of shit when he says he's home. No, it was his home. It was the place that put him on the big stage. And then they had a horrible breakup. And years later, they're a little more mature. They bump into each other at the bar and they work it out. And that's what happened. As Jericho's in the ring. Hilarious. Kenny just said, until you sang that song that is funny. And I think that's true. I had no idea the words to that song. That's fucking awesome. Crossbar. I got that one. I'm way behind. I'm trying to catch up. Nick Wayne's mom, Angle, killed the Edge and Christian story feud. Yep. it definitely hurt their match last week and soured me for future matches. The whole scenario got real stupid, Richard. You have two veterans, two legends, you know, two guys that are going to go down as, one half or two halves of one of the greatest tag teams ever. You just had to have a match, and you had to have an angle to get out of that match. And everything from kicking the ref in the balls so hard that he passed out to Nick Wayne's mom showing up, and clearly there was no doubt who she was going to hit. The minute you saw her, even the live crowd sunk a little. Ugh. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't think you need it, and I wish it wasn't done that way. I think I'm disappointed because I think Adam Copeland and Christian would look at Tony and go, I don't know, man. But here comes Ricky Starks and Big Bill, because Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega are going to be your tag team champions very soon, guys. And big pops for Ricky and Big Bill, even though they're the heels in the scenario. But I think people like them better than they like Jericho and Kenny. And I feel bad because Kenny's just caught up in this bullshit. Hi, Austin. Paul, Jericho got, yeah, I love it. I love you got a commercial entrance. He'll be fucking yelling at Tony later. Yeah, I just don't see. Am I wrong? Anyone out there disagree with me? Do you see or feel chemistry between Kenny Omega and Jericho? Like, I believe Kenny when he said, I didn't even know the words to this song. I believe him. And now Ricky Starks is saying everything we all say. Look what he's done. Uh-oh. Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega are going to win these belts. And I hate it. Will FTR be a main focus in the tag team division again? Richard Martinez, I hope so. Sorry, I'm listening to Kenny right now, but I'll get back to you, I promise. Anybody know why Chris Jericho has the big robotic brace on his arm? Nobody remembers the firm, Kenny. Jericho, hell no. The only person Omega has any real chemistry with is Okada when he was in Japan. Yeah, he's just such a solo guy. Like, I think Kenny's super talented. He really is. But I think he gets caught up in all this bullshit. Oh, just called him soft. We're going all the way back to soft. How you doing? Keep it moving. Ricky and Big Willie. Big Willie style in the house. No. Kenny need to V-trigger the crap out of Jericho like yesterday. Yeah, we can get over this. They're going to win the fucking belts, and it bothers me. And the Golden Jets is a fucking horrible name. Just like the Winnipeg Jets. Good job. Someone on commentary popped. Will FTR, yeah, they need to fix the tag team division. Richard Martinez, anyone out there right now, I'd love to listen. Tell me what the AEW tag team division is right now. What tag teams are being highlighted? What tag teams are being used? Who's climbing the ranks in the tag team division? I don't know. The firm. He went from the firm to the soft. Pause. The Kevin Harts? I want New Japan, Kenny Omega, and AEW. You're not going to get it. When he goes to New Japan, he understands that he has a legacy there that he protects. He wants to be that guy. You saw it. I think my pick for match of the year, one of my picks for match of the year, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, New Japan, Wrestle Kingdom 17. They burned it. They killed it. It was a different Kenny. He's a different guy. But I feel like too many guys in AEW are on the gravy train. Kind of like that WCW mentality. We had so much talent in WCW that could have made the show maintain its greatness. Wins for 83 weeks. They could have kept going. But when guys are on the gravy train, when you're getting paid whether you show up or not, incentive is a hard thing. This promo's fucking horrible. The Rick and the Dick. The beeper guy caught that one. We got the Rick. I didn't know Big Nick was teaming up with the Rick and the Dick. Big Billy Starks. Ricky! God, I love Ricky. That fell flat. Oh, the hot shit. Is anyone out there right now liking this? Hey, listen, if you are, I'm all ears. I don't want to be rude, but my honest opinion is this is hot garbage. The back and forth, them talking over each other. He's gonna call him The Rock. Wait, what did he say? I missed it. Did he call him Dwayne? Did he go after the Dwayne thing? Because that's Taz. That's pretty stiff. Wow. All right. This promo, they should have let Ricky Starks talk the whole time. The whole time should have been just Ricky Starks. Yeah. Fucking. Listen to the crowd cheering because of the fire. The two in the ring sound like they're fucking around and being playful. Ricky sounds like a guy that cares whether he wins or loses. You can't call them Winnipeg scumbags, though. There's already another scumbag. Whew. Yikes. Bad. Bad. I'll talk about that in a second, Chair. I love this topic right there. I'll get to that. The Golden Junks. Yeah, it's not good fucking promo. You're not talking to the crowd. You're talking to yourself. And Jericho, what the most disappointing part about Jericho is, Jericho should fucking know better. But the way they were talking over each other, you were losing some of what they said. Their jokes were low-hanging fruit. They were obvious jokes that other people have already said. Yeah, I mean, your big fucking pull out of your pocket was Rick and the Dick. Like the only thing in that was decent was Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks was fired up, and everything else, like it actually seemed like Ricky was legitimately getting annoyed by the banter, by the stupidity. As I'm now getting a replay of Nick Wayne's mom, and then we transition to Tony Storm. So I don't know how we connected those dots. As Tony Storm in the house, Maria May carrying the belt behind her. So there that goes. Remember, he did say he wanted his belt back. 100% match of the year. It's hard to argue. Listen, I think Kenny hanging around with the Bucks hurt him. I think Kenny hanging around with Jericho sucks. That was so bad. So fucking bad. And I believe this a number one no. Yeah, will this be a number one contenders match? Maybe. I don't know. But Ruby Soho is about to do a job to Riho, folks. So if you want to grab a snack, now's the time to do it. It's two made-up teams. Yeah, but you know what? I don't mind. Look, Ricky gets Big Bill to get his back, and I would have preferred Ricky get a solo run with Big Bill being like his, Shawn Michaels Diesel. However, things happen. They put the belt on him. That's fine because now you have that dynamic. You have the young, you have the smaller, brash, athletic guy. You have the big powerhouse. To me, it works well, and I'm okay with it. So they've been a tag team. Chris and Kenny got thrown together because, again, Chris had to figure out who's hot right now. He is new target. He's done it to Eddie Kingston. Ricky just said it. He did it to, what happened? Where's all the guys that Chris Jericho worked with and got over? Where are all these superstars that made AEW better because they worked with Chris Jericho? Where are they? Nowhere. And here comes Riho. Thumbs down. This promo had promise, but it dragged. They're just not interesting, Richard. That became the problem with that promo. It just wasn't interesting. Can they fire Tony Khan? Nope. And Nick and I proposed the question to everybody out there. Should AEW fans, should the tribal hardcore AEW fans, should the JD from New York guys out there that just see nothing but fucking through rose-colored glasses when it comes to AEW, as fans, should you not be more critical? As fans, should you not be more honest? Doesn't make you a bad fan. Doesn't mean you hate the company. Doesn't make you, want to see it fail. But if you're vocal about how shit some of the stuff we're getting is, maybe it forces Tony's hand. I don't know. But nothing's going to get rid of Tony. It's him and his bankroll. The Tasmanian? Ding, ding, ding. I will take a prediction. Is anybody in the chat picking Ruby? I'm all ears. Time to start. Stark spoke out in an interview recently, kind of taking a backhanded shot at his booking. He said, I know I'm a tag team champion, but I don't feel like a tag team wrestler. Khan didn't get it. And again, it's all in the booking, right? You got to book him like that. But he's right. Starks was hot as shit. And whether people love or hate CM Punk, when he went over to Collision and brought Ricky with him, Punk was doing wonders for his career. Then Starks has the match with Daniel, and it's a great match. Arguably in the top 5, top 10 for sure of matches of the year. Wow, nice bridging suplex by Riho. Oh. But, yeah, I think Starks wanted that solo run, and I think it stopped short. And instead of pushing him, in a direction where he continued to build, and Big Bill helped him get over as a heel, they abandoned that. And now the problem with being a tag team champion is they don't book the tag team division great. That's the problem. And that goes back to the comment I saw earlier from my buddy. And I said I'd get back to it, my buddy Chair, I believe it was. But in the beginning, one of the things I was most excited about, because growing up as a kid, I loved tag team wrestling. I thought tandem offense was really cool. I liked how the back and forth would work. Big sucker for a good hot tag. Pause. Oh. Both women up on the turnbuckle. Ruby holding on. I hate this spot. Anybody, not just these ladies. Anyone does this, the double stomp when you're holding on, waiting for it, it's stupid. Get out of the way. But the Bucks stood up on the podium and said, AEW is going to have the best tag team division in the world. We're going to prove it. And in the start, we'd get 3 or 4 solid tag matches every Dynamite. And it went out of the window. I really think that when FTR showed up, it fucked the Bucks' egos up. And we had that whole circle jerk where they, we didn't drop the belts, and then it just dissolved. Now we don't book tag team wrestling at all. We barely book the women's division at all. They need to find something that fucking helps this shit. Like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Why, do you not see what we see? And we know, based on what he says publicly, he doesn't see what we see. So it's disappointing. You want a war? You're going to get one. Let's go. Jericho has never been so bad in his life. What do you mean? Jericho's having the career years. Don't forget when he beat Austin and Rock. Forget when he was multiple champion. Forget where he was hanging out with KO and lighting up the show. No, no. The last 2 years, best years of his career. Clearly, Chris Jericho has done nothing but sap the life and energy out of every wrestler he's come across in the last 3 years. And the only person who survived was MJF because it's MJ fucking F. That's why. Other than that, it was bad. It's been bad. He is not. You tell, and listen, if anyone out there wants to debate this, you tell me what I've missed. You tell me the guys he put over. Well, he put over that Andrade kid. No, he didn't. He let him win, but then he squashed him. He set him on fire. He treated him like shit. Didn't get the kid over. And where's the kid now? All right. Where's the Jericho Society? Nowhere. Floating jobbers. Didn't help them get over. Didn't build their career. He downright put out all the fire that Eddie Kingston had. Jericho destroyed it. Just doused it in all his Jericho juice. It was fucking horrible. Why did that happen? I don't know. As we go back to picture in picture, bathroom break match. I hate to say it. It kind of is. Yeah. Yeah, again. Yeah. Welcome to the women's division. I feel bad. I really want to like the women's division. It's so sad that Tony Khan don't care about women's wrestling. Damian, it's an ongoing thing. He would say he does care about it. We've talked about it. The women's division requires good writing, good storytelling, good booking. And that's where Tony Khan falls short. I don't believe that Tony Khan hates women's wrestling. Tony Khan doesn't know how to give you better women's wrestling. Right? What we have seen is people like Tony Storm getting themselves over. We saw Jamie Hayter get herself over. But think of all of that. Like, they had so much money on the table where you could have really had, you had 5 or 6 women involved at the top of the women's division that could all been exciting. And it never came to be. It never worked out. Riho with a cross body, kick out by Ruby. But yeah, that's what I think the problem with the women's division is. When people said, Tony, book the women's division better, he just gave them main event matches, which killed them even worse because they were following better matches. You're getting a street fight followed by a women's match, and it was lackluster. The crowd was dead. Putting them in the main event spot doesn't mean you book them better. Book them better. Give them an angle. Give them a rivalry. Give them something that matters. And that's why I praise Tony Storm. Nice kick by Ruby. Oh, suplex. Sting's retirement dream match. Sting versus Kevin Von Erich. Let's go. The Claw versus the Sting. I don't think it's a number 1 contenders match. I think it's just a tune-up match for Riho. Oh, okay. So Riho came back and instantly gets that match, even though it's kind of interesting. So Riho was mad at the Outcast because they painted her. Tony's no longer with the Outcast and actually doesn't like the Outcast, but all right. Try to connect the dots. Hello, Kenny. Yes, please hold. I'm an executive assistant to Mr. Paul Levesque. He would like to talk to you about the Royal Rumble opportunity. Easy bake. That was funny. Yeah, right. I'm curious what a WWE environment could do for a Kenny Omega. We know the guy's talented. We know the guy's got incredible skill. He's not a great promo. Wow. 2-2-2 on the, I think they called it the no future, but the Dynamite kick or the TNT kick, whatever you want to call it. Ruby looks like she has an inner freak. Yeah. In her, like she is just waiting. Thank you, buddy. Sting's retirement, got that one. I'm so sad that Tony Khan don't care. Got that one. What else we got? Dynamite has been such a bore tonight. AJ, here's the fucked up thing. I really liked the first 2 matches. Wow, Riho with the okay. Dragon suplex. Okay. Then we got a bunch of stuff after that. Like, I'm really surprised. The Von Erichs, you announced the Von Erichs are going to be on our TV. They're on the TV, and there you go. The Meteora for the win. the running meteor, the running knees. And Riho is victorious. Toni Storm is appalled. Tony's hilarious. She's amazing. At least she has something. But what you got to do with a Toni Storm is line up compelling, interesting baby faces. And I don't know if Rio's the answer. I don't. Yeah. Do you not feel like it's been kind of weird? I mean, we've been on here for, an hour 25. So we're what? Now just over an hour into the show. And I thought the first two, like the two matches we got in the first hour were great. As we're now on a Wardlow package. Ass Boys versus Young Von Erichs. Larry, is that happening or is that just hopeful? Did you catch Alberto Del Rio at a high school show? The crowd of 40. I call it karma. Easy bake. I've been very public and very loud about my opinion about Alberto Del Rio. I won't go far into it this time. If you need to figure out what Alberto's like, just Google it. There's a lot of stories out there. The man's, apparently could possibly be elsewhere right now, but witnesses went missing. But that all being said, I watched the channel do an interview with him and praise this guy like he was wonderful. I don't think the WWE, and I know I haven't, overlooked some of his history. Yeah, him in front of 40 people is 40 too many. And here comes the Lucha Bros. Oh no, I lied. Here comes Roosh. The fuck? All right, here comes Roosh. Weird camera angle threw me off. Tony character is great, but might have a short shelf life because Tony's character is unique and has no one interesting to play off of. Richard, exactly my point. Exactly what I was feeling. Tony, you got to give her interesting people. People that you got to give her competitors that are extremely over with the crowd, right? That are compelling, that can cut a promo on her, tell her how stupid and nuts she's being, and then she can play it off like, who, me? How dare you? You need that. And then she's got to be, we saw her cheat at the last pay-per-view, even though it was a bit of a weird spot, and the ref could clearly see the silver tray hanging out of her butt. I never thought I'd say that out loud. But yeah, they need competitors. KJ, it's between 9 and 9:30 p.m. It's time for our one and only, where's Anthony? The hat attack. He made it very clear. 9 and 9:30 every week, we get our little dabble of women's wrestling. And there it is, guys. Do you feel satisfied? Have you got? Now, again, I only do this because of what we do here on the channel. But you looked at Monday's show. A lot of women were highlighted. A lot of women looked good. A lot of women got solid promo time and compelling stuff. I watched an NXT last night here with you guys and Big Nick. Lots of things going on. Lots of women. Tiffany being highlighted. Valkyria being highlighted. Cora Jade. Names after name. The women are so prominent on NXT. And then we tune into this show and we get breadcrumbs. We get nothing. I don't get it. And if the argument is that's all you have to offer, then maybe you don't need a women's division. And I don't want you to not to have one. But if that's all you can book, that's a problem. That's a problem. And there's fans out there being like, oh, it's just wrestling. Just enjoy. How can you enjoy it when there's shit like this going on? Again, Paul, I will say this. To me, as we are in commercial break, if anybody's wondering, to me, that is a cop-out when somebody's beating the argument. When certain people bring up, well, look at the ratings, and then you're like, oh, well, look at these ratings. Why do you got to look at the ratings? Just enjoy the show. Or, hey, I can't believe they botched this, or they fucked up that story angle, or I can't believe they ruined Cody Rhodes. Oh, what about this, this, and this? Oh, why can't you just enjoy the wrestling? To me, it's a bullshit cop-out of the argument. I will say this again. If you go to a movie and you watch a movie and it sucks, you talk about it. You tell your friends, oh, don't go watch that movie. The actor was shit. They did this wrong. They did that wrong. That's what you do. A band puts out a brand new album and you listen to it. Oh, this isn't good. You critique it. If it's good, you dance. If it's not, you don't. Same thing with the movie. Same thing with a concert, sports, anything else. You got a favorite team? I know a lot of you got favorite sport teams out there. I know I do. And when my Leafs are sucking pond water, fuck, I'm definitely critical. I'm definitely honest about what I'm witnessing. When they're on a heater, when they're playing well, when things are going right, you're honest about it. However, this is no different. And I think this idea that you're not enjoying the wrestling because you're a shitty wrestling fan is bullshit. It's a cop out. For us to sit and watch that Kenny Omega Jericho promo, followed by that Rio Ruby match. Now we're getting Jay Lethal coming out, which should be okay. I like Jay Lethal. For us to say this isn't good, this isn't entertaining, does not make us a bad wrestling fan. And that's why Nick and I propose to everybody out there, is AEW requiring their fan base to be more honest. I get it. You're a tribal person and you really want to buy into AEW and you don't want to see anything bad happen to it. Well, I'll be honest, if things don't change, nothing good's happening with it anytime soon. So at the end of the day, to me, that's a cop out. You have every right as a wrestling fan, and we do it on all the shows. Me and Nick scream at each other at times over some of the shit that we have to watch. And we might like half of Raw and hate the back half. We might like the whole show of NXT and hate the main event. Being honest about what we're seeing is fair. That's what we're allowed to do as consumers of the products, as the people that buy the tickets, watch the shows, and support your company. We have every right to be critical. We have every right to be honest. And anyone else out there that does not get that, tough shit. As Jay Lethal and Roosh kicking off, who you taking? Who you taking? Who you taking? Oh, that hurt my throat. And we get a Jarrett strut from Jay Lethal. Taya had it good in the Knockouts division. In Impact, AEW made her look horrible. NXT didn't do much better, Daniel C. Fair is fair. You got to call a spade a spade. NXT and WWE dropped the ball with Taya Valkyrie. I love Taya Valkyrie. I think she's phenomenal. I think she's gorgeous. I think she kicks ass. And I feel like she didn't get a fair shake as Frankie Monet. I don't think she did. I think she could have done so much more. She got in that horrible storyline with Mark Stone, and then she was part of the releases. Fine. AEW signs Taya Valkyrie, and Taya Valkyrie has more talent than 90% of your current women's roster. If I was watching a Ruby Soho Taya Valkyrie match, I'd be much happier. But even with her, when matches didn't go so well, the fans, the AEW fans, shit on Taya Valkyrie. They weren't, because they couldn't do it to one of the OGs. Thank you, Boston. Thank you. Getting a little ranty and preachy here late in the second half of this stream. Roosh in the corner. Oh, I love when he fakes it. There you go. And then just, oh, cheeky. Dun, dun, dun. The Point Richard. We go to Joe Black in the house. What's up? Man, I missed Dynamite. Like you're going to miss the playoffs. And did anything good happen? Of course not. Hope y'all boys having a good night. We've had a couple good matches. And that's where I think, going back to my previous argument about the whole bullshit cop-out of you're not enjoying the wrestling. I enjoyed the first two matches. You guys witnessed me. I put it on record, public record of me, praising the first two matches. I thought they were great. But, man, the holes in between it, I can't help but notice. And that Jericho fucking Kenny Omega thing just, I don't know, kind of took the wind out of my sails. Diehards were making fun of Maxine and Rhea match. Maxine and Rhea's match was sloppy. It was clunky. It was what it was. But it wasn't a 15-minute bullshit match. It was a 3-minute, not even a 3-minute squash match. And that's okay by me. Maxine, when you look at that and go, oh, Maxine sucks. Well, yeah, she was a valet up until a month ago. So that, to me, is the difference. You minimize things. You booked it because it was fun to do, and it kind of, this Alpha Academy thing has got itself over, but it was clunky, right? So the fans can say, well, that was kind of shit, but Rhea's not shit. It wasn't Rhea's fault that Maxine couldn't pull herself up to take that move. You ever try and lift a fucking wet noodle? It's hard to get it to pause and pause and pause. But you know what I mean. As Roosh chucking Jay into the corner, I don't imagine Roosh loses this match, but I was wrong about Brody. Ole, vale. Here we go. Oh, super kick by Jay. Going for a lethal injection. Not today. Locks in the sleeper. Damn, that's subtle. You'll and Jay Lethal gets choked out. Jay Lethal lost quicker than Riho or Ruby. There you go. Roosh. There you go. Squash. And again, this is where your booking gets interesting. And I think as a format guy, as a guy that likes to put things together, I think when you have the matches you have and you know how they're going to turn out, maybe not have the Ruby Riho match right at, then the Jay Lethal Roosh match, because they're not the most compelling matches. Maybe you separate those matches and you have some compelling shit in between. But here's Jeff Jarrett and crew. Keyshawn's going to be happy. Keyshawn giving Dynamite a 10 out of 10 with a Jeff Jarrett signing tonight. Taya had it good in the Knockouts division in Impact. AEW made her look horrible. Got that one. Jay Lethal upset Irush. And coming up next, Jay White versus Mark Briscoe. So again, a lot of shit happening on this show tonight. Like, we still have Swerve and Moxley to come. Like, there's a lot here. A lot that I'm excited about. A lot that I'm happy about, guys. Roosh. Yeah, I'd like to see Taya Valkyrie go back to the Knockouts division. She was excellent. And here's John Moxley. Same goes for Perazo. Perazo's a good example as well. Now, Perazo to me might have been an example of just not her time yet. She's not quite. You see Deonna Perazo now and you're thinking, wow, the virtuoso, how did they miss this? But sometimes they're not quite that yet. In a little bit of the defense, if Deonna could make her way back to one of the two major companies, I think she's done great in Impact. But if she's going to test the waters, I think it would be a mistake for people to overlook Deonna. She's an outstanding talent. Huge fan of her. In and out of the ring. She's a great person. And I think she deserves all the opportunity in the world. If I'm A24 Studios and that's what I got from AEW, I'm pissed. Facts. As they set up the main event. And here comes Jay White. Interesting. She's about to be a free agent. Better hope Tony don't get her. Listen, if I was any wrestler considering going to AEW, I would be having very serious, long, drawn-out conversations with Tony Khan about what I can do with this company. Because too many people have signed with this company and become nothing. Look at Ruby Soho. She just did a fucking job to Riho. She hasn't done shit in this company. And it was a big deal. Man, her vignettes on her own, on her own time, she creates those runaway vignettes, and they were excellent. Comes to AEW, and it goes nowhere. That's a problem for me. AEW is a wrestling show, but it's also entertainment. It's okay to critique entertainment like we do any other TV show. No show is perfect. When it gets bad, we have to bring it up so the show can change. Well, I mean, yeah, exactly, Richard. And how many times did we watch? You watch a show, or everyone's obsessed with a show. This show's awesome. This show's awesome. Fucking Game of Thrones. Oh, we love this show. We love this show. Oh, fuck. Did you see the finale? It was garbage. Sons of Anarchy. We love this show. We love this show. Did you see the? Oh, that sucked. Like, show after show after show. That's what we do. Movies are the same way. Hey, did you see the remake of blank movie? Because they're all remakes nowadays. Yeah. If it sucks, it sucks. Right? I remember fucking Nick and I were fucking when Nick saw the new Halloween and you don't see Michael Myers for like the first hour. And we were on here like, what the fuck was that? That's what you do. So to make it feel like you're a bad wrestling fan for having an opinion, that's not fair. If you're just blindly critiquing, and we've seen it in our chat, people do jump on and blindly critique things. Oh, well, I don't watch NXT, but it's shit. I don't watch Impact Wrestling, but it's shit. It's just independent wrestling. Like that, to me, an ignorant opinion isn't really a fair one. If you watch it and you actually don't like it, great. But if you're just sitting there, I said we got one buddy that only pops up in the chat when WWE does something wrong. When WWE is clicking, quiet. Because you're waiting for that moment. If you're that fan, that's a bit of an issue. That's why I don't think I don't want Mercedes going to AEW. It'd be very intriguing if she did, because sorry, 1 second. Mark Briscoe, Jay White have kicked off. I will take your predictions on this match. I know I'm ranting and raving at this point, but or just rambling. How dare you call? You shut up, Boston. You don't know me. Jay for the win. Deanna could be in the Rumble. I'd be down. As Mark Briscoe. Oh, they're caught up in the. They got caught up in an extension cord. Was that from Roosh? Did Roosh leave as an extension cord out? Oh, God damn it. Yeah, the thing with Mercedes is, again, you assume that she's going to come in, and I think at some point the idea of being the big fish in the small pond would appeal to Mercedes, right? She doesn't have to compete with Charlotte and Bayley and Becky for airtime. She's in a world of stars. She's just another star in the sky in WWE. In AEW, she's the brightest star going, but then you sign her, Tony gets his feelings hurt, or is worries about hurt feelings. Sorry, let me rephrase. And well, I don't want to push her too hard because then Britt might not like it, or so and so is going to be upset, or how somebody, I'm going to slow play her build, and then she fizzles out. So that becomes that problem. Again, I hear Mercedes looking for big money. She was looking for big money before, and the WWE said, "Sorry, we don't have that kind of money for you. You're not getting Charlotte money. You're not Charlotte." And she didn't like that, and she left. But look, she comes back to New Japan, great, but then she's on the shelf again, and that's always been their biggest downfall, is she can't stay healthy. She might be a great star, she might be a great worker. I don't necessarily love her persona, her attitude. I don't think she's a great promo. I think she thinks she's greater than she is. But to me, that worked really well as a heel in WWE. And then when you put her in the ring with Charlotte, Bayley, Becky, again, they made money. They made magic. Like, you think of some of the matches she had with those people, or those women, it was outstanding. As Jay White hits an DDT. 2 count. Maxine has been in 6 matches in her entire career, only 2 solo, counting Monday. Yeah, Maxine's out of her depth, and she looked out of her depth. It was sloppy as fuck. But again, I will say the champion squashed her out. If that match had gone 12 minutes, I'd have a different opinion. But the match was what it was. A hapless, I'm just learning how to wrestle lady with training wheels got stomped out by the badass woman of the year in wrestling, period. Maybe Deanna could reunite with Chelsea, a new tag team, while Piper can go back to being a singles monster. You're a monster. There's my Shrek reference for the night. Yeah, maybe. Again, I think there is a lot of potential. There's a lot of history there. Deanna could show up and work with Mickie James if Mickie James comes back. There's possibilities. Deanna's a talent, and again, her being involved in the singles picture also works for me. Deanna, Bayley will tear it down. There's women in the in that division, and booked well, Deanna will do fine. Who's ready for a fruit punch to leak from Moxley's head again? Oh, that blood getting thinner by the week. After the first artist came the first critic. Facts. I feel like somebody way smarter than me said that once upon a time, Larry. But if that's just you, great. But yeah, that's it. That's the way it is. There's people back in the day that were sitting watching Shakespeare going, "This is shit." I don't understand what anyone's saying. which most of us did in high school because they forced us to read it. The point you're missing, KJ, is what was Ruby doing in WWE? A bunch of jobs and less pay. So I'd rather work 3 shows and get paid twice as much than wrestle 30 times a month and get paid less. Yes and no, because I think you're overlooking the fact that Ruby Soho was the leader of a faction at one point. She was hanging around with Liv and Sarah Logan, and it was kind of sad when that got broke up and people got released. I wouldn't say that. I think Ruby had her moments, and again, it all depends on where you prioritize. Yeah, if you want to, I think many people in AEW are taking the paycheck to do nothing. Like if you're Miro, your dollar per match, your dollar per in-ring minute is fucking outstanding. Hard to compete with. When you get to do whatever you want with your work week, you don't train, you're not. Well, I'm not saying they don't go to the gym or shit, but you're not training at that level. You're not constantly working on your craft. You're not having to show up at pre-tapes and work out your matches. You're just showing up and going, okay, what are we doing tonight? Okay, great. So yeah, I mean, I think that's what happened with FTR. Well, if I sign with Tony, Tony's going to give us way more money, and I get to spend way more time with my kids. That's partly why I think WWE is backing off their scheduling a little. But yeah, don't overlook the fact that the Ruby had some stuff going with WWE. And I felt like she was more relevant. Sasha / Mercedes in AEW would be a huge mistake. She had people in WWE to help carry her, and limit her botches in AEW will be a train wreck. Oh, and I think she'll end up on the shelf sooner than later. I have said this before. I do think Sasha going to AEW will expose her, and I think she knows that. I'd rather be carried in a match by Bayley than trying to work through a match with Riho. This match is going to be a banger. So far, so good. I don't see why people like Deonna, Mercedes, and Camille would want to go to. Oh, let me rephrase that. I don't see why people like Deonna. I was like, I misread that at first. Deonna, Mercedes, and Camille would want to go to AEW unless it's just money decision. And again, it's not. I can't say it's just for the money. And again, if you want to go there for the money, great, do it. But I think part of it is what you get sold on, right? Tony sits you down. He's an uber nice guy. He just wants to hug you, and he's got tons of money. I'll give you all this money, and then we're going to put you in pay-per-views, and we're going to do this shit with you. I think at times Tony has the best of intentions. He just doesn't have the means to deliver his intentions. Like, we're going to do all this, and then he gets in the mix of shit, and he's like, oh, fuck. I didn't do anything I said they were going to do. I had a hope. Big elbow. Big elbow. WWE should never put Maxine on the main roster, period. I disagree. See, here's the thing. When you have a wrestling show, I believe that there is a space, and there always has been a space for the comic relief, for the lighter side of the show. Not all the show can be like gas pedal down, intense, in your face, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, I hate you, this sucks, you're dead. It can't all be like that. If you go back through all the wrestling that you've ever watched, there was always time for, Mick Foley and Socko. There was time for fucking the Hurricane. There was always time for the gimmicks. The head. Anybody want a head? Yeah. Figured. Pause on all of that. But Maxine is that. So she's a bit of a ha-ha gimmick. But when you get over with the crowd, and that's always my measure, King, Alpha Academy has gotten over with the crowd. So at the end of the day, they put her in this match against an uber heel and get smooshed. I'm okay with it. The fans get a little crazy, like, oh, I wonder if she wins. Oh my God. And then she just loses. But it doesn't hurt her any. It didn't hurt Rhea any. Her being the valet. Wow. Razor's Edge. 2. Plus Triple H, Indie, NXT talents, including UK talent, suck. I don't know how to respond to that. You're going to have to be more specific or elaborate on this comment altogether, because I'd love to know who you think sucks. Thank you, Tony. Can't help it. Just shit comes out of my mouth. I say what I feel, and I don't say sorry anytime. Well, that's not true sometimes, but you got me. Jay White with a kind of a dragon screw on the ground. Roll up, roll up, roll up, roll up. If Jay White, I mean, this is a tough one. I want Mark to win, but Jay White can't keep losing. Another big signing that hasn't really delivered or come to fruition. Briscoe deserves to win, but won't. Just kind of feeling that too, Larry. I can see Mark and Lethal be a tag team. If you can get Lethal away from Jarrett, but again, like to me, Jarrett's kind of the comic relief. Like he's kind of that, they're just the goofy group. The problem with Jarrett is Jarrett and Lethal Knot have been booked more than your top talent. They have way more bookings this year than some of your best people. Wow, reversal! Exploder? Or yeah, a high tie? Mercedes Monet, aka Sasha, fits better in WWE with Hunter. The relationship with Hunter to me is the X factor. Hunter will sell her on. I will make you look good. I will make you a star. You will main event WrestleMania. If I could see Sasha Banks winning the Royal Rumble. Oh, there it is. It's over. Not a bad match. Not a bad match. Again, not a whole lot of feel to it. The crowd's a little bit quiet. I think more people in the building were hoping for Jay, but it's not really a boo more than a oh. You know what I mean? You're not really getting the crowd in the building to be like, boo, I can't believe you did that. It's more like, oh, poor Mark. So Jay Lethal's 0-4 and Mark Briscoe's 0-4. That is fucking insulting. And the only people they have left to face is each other. So one of them's going to go 0-5 and one of them's going to go 1-5. Really? They couldn't go 2? You couldn't give them 2? That's heartbreaking. KJ, I've always said wrestling shows need some comedy. Always. There's always been, I mean, we joked about it. Me and Luna were talking about Val Venus today. Choppy, right? There's always been silly shit. There's always been something through my growing up with wrestling. It was an adult show that had kid stuff involved. Like there was stuff like, there was a fucking wrestling cartoon. So they wanted to hook the children because they want young fans to be lifelong fans. But it was still an adult show, right? Luna said yesterday as she was doing her WrestleMania watch along of like she was 8 watching Val Venus of like, where was my mom when I was watching the porn star? But when you dial it back, there was, we had Funag, Indeed. There's always been now in 2023's version of Indeed is fucking shoosh. Thank you. Like there's always room for it. Again, you can argue whether or not Maxine should have been booked against Rhea, but they found a reason why, which is 1 and 2. If it was a competitive match, it's a problem. They can't all be competitive matches, and it wasn't. As I'm getting a commercial for the Iron Claw. Banger match. Got to have more Briscoe and Switchblade. It's 2 guys I would love to see more of, honestly, King. And when Mark came back, I thought Mark should have been hot-shotted right to either the Ring of Honor belt or the TNT title. Could you imagine if coming off the heels of the tragedy that happened in his life, that if he told the story of I'm doing this for my brother and I'm not quitting, I'm not going anywhere. And we all saw those matches when he returned and there was tears in the crowd and we all felt it because we know what it's like to lose somebody. But he lost his brother, his best friend, his tag team partner. They were joined at the hip. He must feel lost some days of looking to his right and his brother's not there. And you could have built that story and moved him towards a title. You would have had everybody eating out of your hand. That is money in the bank. And you missed it. Now Briscoe's 0-4 in the Continental Classic. It's sad. That's what I think we're missing in AEW is a lot of people right now are talking a lot about Punk and Rollins. And the reason why I think everybody's liking it so much is the real side of it all. Seth is saying real shit. Punk is saying real shit. You know there's some animosity there. Now sell it. And it's always worked. When wrestlers were getting in the ring and you knew they really didn't quite get along, it always works. Speak of the devil. So this is what I find ironic about what we're getting right now. You're getting a replay, and there's Jay, which I'm happy to see Jay on TNT television. Jay and Mark, and they're talking about the relationship. You're talking about the friendship, and now final battle. They're in honor of Jay. They're going to do this match. I'm okay with it. I think it's a bit of an afterthought, which bothers me. You just watched Mark do the job, and then you turn around and you're like, oh, by the way, he's going to be in a match this weekend to honor his brother. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't compute. It doesn't add up. You know, you almost want to go from Mark in the ring with his arms in the air, celebrating a win, a nice win, and then transition into this promo, this vignette of what's coming up. That's just my take. Briscoe is just a pure talent. He is. Again, the man's a genius, and the man's smart, and he's great. He's a great interview. He's a great promo. He's a great personality. He's unique, and he can go. He can fucking go. He's tough as nails. Dun, 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 dun. Whose house? Swerve Strickland. Coming out. There's Nana. The man who swerves when he drives is here, folks. Dun, dun, dun. Briscoe got that one, got that one, got that one. I liked the match. I thought it was okay. It lacked a little feel. That's my only complaint, is I felt like it was a little, it lacked feel. It was like we went through the motions. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought the match was good. KJ Bad Karma for NXT. Ilya Dragunov could have seriously injured himself. Pictures surfacing of him on a stretcher. Oh, interesting. Interesting. I wonder how that would change things, or how that would augment the booking. I hope he's okay. KJ have always got that one. Ruby Soho, 6 years in WWE in her own faction, not a single title. And WWE NXT Ruby Soho WWE run was pointless, and it was them trying to play off the DC Suicide Squad. It was definitely, I don't think one equates the other. Like, I think they're exclusive. But yeah, I mean, it was what it was as far as the gimmick goes. I think, again, when you are the WWE, people don't just pop to the top. She had to put in her time. She had to put in her work. Could she have had a title? Yeah, she probably could have had a title. But I would argue that she was more prominent and more like, oh, there's Ruby, than she is now. I think she mattered more in the WWE. Maybe not in wins and losses, but, you know, I don't know. I feel like, especially when the Riot Squad was running around just fucking up everybody, kicking the shit out of everybody. It worked for me. I'd put up with some of that now. They tried it with the Outcast. It just didn't work. But again, Ruby's one of those ones that you're not totally wrong, JV. That she could have been done better. I mean, those were the good old Vince McMahon booking days. A-Dub has Danhausen. Yes, they do. All of Indie NXT and UK talents. Man. So are you like, I don't know. I'll just let that one slide. If you're saying the UK talents like Ilya and Bates and Noam Dar and the list goes on, like, I mean, Blair Davenport, if you're saying all those competitors suck, I can't help you there, man. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. I can't agree with it. Yeah. And then the NXT talent, I mean, they did extremely well. And I would argue that Triple H had guys like Adam Cole, Fish, O'Reilly at their best, the best they've ever been, the most believable they've ever been, the strongest booking they've ever had. As we're dinging, Moxley Swerve, and we're kicking off with a holy shit chant. Who you taking? Who you taking? Who you taking? This match will probably be in. I'm with you, Boston. That's my bet. I 100% think when you get stuck in a stalemate and you look how much minutes we got left on the clock, could be. Could be. I think Swerve and Mox tie, yeah, which to me would be chicken shit booking. This match ends in a draw. Prince Nana is AEW. Prince Nana is over as fuck. Him and Swerve are great. One of the best stories of 2023. And we need more of it. Don't stunt the growth of Swerve by booking him poorly. Ride this. This guy is cooking. Swerve for the win. Mox for the win. I didn't think they would do that. Very interesting. Not. I gotta go back. The Bushwhackers. Mark is buried pretty much. He's a jobber. He's there to do a job. He loses. What does he win? 1 out of every 6 matches, 7 matches. It's not good. Oh, Daniel, that is hard. Feels like it though, right? Oh. That's the 4th wrestler that Ridge is injured. Who did Ridge? What do you mean? All right, you got to elaborate on that one. I might have missed an earlier point. 4-0, 3-1. Good matches tonight. I agree for the most part, Eric. And Moxley and Swerve locking up. I predict Mox and Swerve will be a draw. Mark Briscoe deserves better. It's so disrespectful to Mark. I don't love it. I really don't. And again, let's put that aside. Let's say, it's not personal. Mark's not mad about going under, putting other people over. But to me, it's as the booker, you got to maximize the interesting and compelling shit that's on your programming. And when you have an opportunity to build on real fanfare, you have to do it. And I think that's Tony's weakness. And I will say, and if you guys listening at home, I've been talking a lot, so maybe I'm wrong, but Moxley not happy right now. I felt like the crowd was very quiet tonight up until kind of now. I feel like this is the most energy we've seen out of the crowd. Swerve for the win, KJ. Maybe. We will see. Banger incoming. It could be. We'll see. I'm hoping. There you go. The crowd is hyped. Okay. I feel like they've been quiet a lot. The opening of the show, they were very amped and very into it. I felt they kind of fell off for a big chunk of this show tonight. The NXT champion Ilya was taken out on a stretcher after landing on his neck wrong in a match against Ridge Holland. Oh shit, Jake. Thank you for that update. T's and P's with Ilya. I hope he's okay. And yeah, that unfortunately for Ridge would be the 4th person that he's been interacted with. And again, I feel bad for the guy because certain things, like what happened to Prince wasn't his fault. He did a back body drop, man. The guy over rotated and landed on his side instead of flat back. That's not Ridge's problem. I know people are gonna say he launched him sideways, but no. Yeah, fuck. Yeah, I really hope that Ilya's okay, because that will fuck up things. Da, da, da. I guess Shawn Michaels is doing the same booking method as Triple H, since Triple H is booking Nia as an injury-causing wrestler as well. Yeah, I don't get that. I don't think anyone's booking Ridge as an injury-causing person. Swerve wins or draw, leaning towards draw. I'm going to be disappointed if this is a draw, because it means that you couldn't talk Moxley into taking the L. To me, it's a cop-out. Swerve's on fire. Let him win. Know how good it would look if this show ends tonight and Swerve takes out Moxley. He becomes a favorite to win the tournament. Oh, shit. Swerve's for real. A tie doesn't help him as much. A slip of the tongue? I like it. LFC, it's storyline, thankfully. Dun, dun, dun. You are correct. It could be either way. One, actually, it will definitely put the heat on Butch. Interesting. Reported that it's on his Twitter. Very interesting. I'm convinced that Khan has been paying out of the pocket for ad time on Warner Brother Discovery so he can have overruns on Dynamite and try to inflate the rating tally. Yeah, when you get that overrun that has a spike, I also think that a lot of people have theorized that Tony Khan can't manage the time, and I believe more than this is a strategic choice. To be 100% honest with you, I think he's just letting everyone go out willy nilly, and because guys are kind of doing their own thing, and fuck, oh, he went over, they went over, that went over, shit. Because if Warner Brother Discovery was tipped off, like, hey, we're going to go over, we've seen it before. They go over, no big deal. Programming works. But the nights that the people's DVRs are being cut off, they weren't planning that shit. It just happened. It take place at the NXT taping. Okay. Why was Ridge in a match with Ilya at a taping? Help me understand. That DDT from the second turnbuckle was brutal. Absolutely. Swerve Strickland should be the future AEW World Champion. At this rate, yeah. But you got to keep him building. Keep building him. Keep building him. He's hot as fuck. I'm still kind of conflicted, to be honest. The overrun is helping AEW ratings. Yeah, I mean, again, it becomes the outlier, which, again, when you look at the average, you should ignore the outlier. That's generally how you do it in math, right? If you run an average for 2 hours and then there's a giant spike somewhere, you kind of eliminate that and become an outlier. The thing I've always said about Tony Khan and some of the stats with AEW, they always come with an asterisk. The Wembley stuff, asterisk. The ratings, asterisk. There's always an asterisk. KJ, is Swerve not the WCW Booker T of AEW? Just an amazing talent, African-American wrestler held back by horrible booking and politics. Not yes and no. I mean, I think that what Booker T held back for multiple reasons, yes. And a horrible booking and people not seeing it in him and not pushing him probably the way they could have. I don't know that Swerve's in that camp yet. I feel like there is a good amount of love for Swerve. I don't feel like Swerve's being held back. Bad booking doesn't help him. But lately, he's been booked pretty well. He's getting himself over pretty well. But the biggest dilemma in AEW is the core group, the EVPs, the ones, the OGs, the Moxleys, the Jerichos, the Bucks, the Keddys. That group that won't let other people go over. It holds back the company. When your top guys are not your top guys, when you have better guys being held back and not being booked well, FTR is the perfect example. FTR should have walked in and decimated the Bucks, proved a point, and then you sell it. You sell the comeback. You turn it. What happened when the FTR showed up? The Bucks did a turn. It got convoluted. Then they never wanted to give it just didn't work out. And that's what's hurting AEW so much is that core group. I would throw Britt Baker in there, the Sammy Guevara, the ones that are super tight with Tony, that get special treatment, that get special consideration in booking, that get to call their own shots. And if this match ends with a draw, that's exactly what it is. And a draw is not best for business. To me, I believe Swerve winning is best for business. We'll see what happens. Like Brody King losing tonight pisses me off. Is NXT doing tapings right now? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like the Edge storyline shouldn't have been skipped this week. The story needs repair as Nick Wayne's mom Angle hurt the match. Yeah, now we're just lingering on the bullshit. They randomly did a replay of it earlier, but they never came. Like, that was it. We've had no MJF. People are going to say he's busy because of the claw, but the Von Erichs are here. No MJF, no Mask, no Edge, no Christian. Tell me when I'm telling lies, folks. They're definitely got stake in the company, which gives even more credence to the theory that they're operating at a loss, having to cut WBD, Warner Brother Discovery, in to try and make up the difference. There's long rumored that the Warner Brothers has skin in the game, and that's partly why they kind of just, the ratings are the ratings. Because I can't imagine if you are a TV exec at Warner Brothers and you see the numbers, especially on Friday and Saturday. Wow, cutter. Big two. And I like Swerve doing a kick out with his eyes closed. I would build a company around Swerve Strickland. He's an absolute star. In 2024, you don't fucking strap a rocket to Swerve and keep him on his way. You're making a mistake. You really, really got something here with Swerve. WWE fucked up and let him go. Again, I blame Vince more than anyone else. And they missed out on a star. And now Tony's got to do everything he can to amplify this star. Tony's job as booker is to amplify the talent you have. Put them in the best possible positions to be superstars. It's that simple. TK has bought Warner Brothers Discovery, or brought Warner Brothers Discovery in on profit participation on AEW. So apparently they let him do whatever he wants. Here's the question. If they are in on profit participation, what do they feel when you are profiting negative $30 million? Wow. There you go. Swerve. Up. Go over the suplex. Nice. AKJ, I got Swerve for the win. I'd like that. Big kick out. Does Mox lose more when he doesn't bleed? That would be a fun stat, Larry. People should look into that. I like that one a lot. Let's go. Does Moxley win or lose more based on blood loss? I'm still kind of conflicted, to be honest. I clicked that already. I'm not sure. Swerve is all-around fantastic wrestler in AEW. He's outstanding. Smart, gets it, understands psychology, athletic, good promo. All that stuff with Rick Ross and fucking around. And I don't think he needs the Mogul Embassy bullshit. I don't think he should be hanging around with Brian Cage. As Moxley just sits up like the Undertaker, kind of. Why is he sitting there like that? Oh, there you go, because he doesn't sell shit. And Swerve goes down, and this is the little things that bother me about Mox that people overlook all the fucking time. Mox is literally sitting there watching the man climb. Okay, you made it so obvious that you were going to get up and chuck this man off the fucking ring. Am I wrong? My man did a gritty in AEW. Swerve gets back in, eats a stomp. And Swerve kicks out of the stomp. But that's my problem with Mox. Mox sells shit. Mox wrestles like two kids in the basement or the backyard of, you're not selling anything. He sat there and watched. Why was he not laying there selling the fact that he's in a fucking war? That Swerve's taking him to the limit. That the moves that Swerve just hit mattered. Nope, he's sitting up watching the guy climb the ropes. Bullshit. 5-minute run over, remember? Yeah, we got lots of time left. We got 5 minutes. They got to put up. Put the legendary Omega back on top. Jab Williams, welcome. And yeah, Kenny hanging around with Jericho is doing nothing for Kenny. Nothing. Mox going for the kill. Mox has got a chair. And here comes Swerve over the top. I like it. Come on, Swerve. I'm waiting for the countdown clock to show up or somebody to talk about it. Moxley is GCW, no sell and predictable. 100%. Wow. Stomp on the chair outside of the ring. What bothers me about the no selling is it makes your opponent look bad. There he is. Just kind of look. Sell. Look hurt. This spot sucks. Come on, Swerve. Like, I hate that spot right there. The man is literally sitting up watching the other man come towards him. It's a shit spot. Moxley kicks out, so the fans go crazy. Moxley no selling. Surely you jest. I just like because you use jest. Oh, roll up, roll up, roll up. Fuck off. What did I tell you guys? Stop me when I'm wrong about this fucking company. I watch this show every week with you guys, and you tell me. Wow. Wow. It's not part of his contract, KJ. You pay him extra for premium package. I like that, JB. Oh, fuck my life. For anyone watching, Jon Moxley eats a stomp from the top and rolls the man up and wins. And again, Moxley, oh, fuck, man. So Moxley undefeated at 12. He takes on Jay White next. I imagine that's going to be a win. Fucking fuck. See, there is semifinals. See, that's funny. There is semifinals. According to Excalibur, there will be semifinals. So Brody King takes a loss tonight. Didn't see that coming. Swerve, who's been on fire, loses to Mox, who sells fucking nothing. And people are going to go on about what a fucking amazing match that was. The match was good. The ending sucked. We need single match Kenny back. No, yeah, we need superstar Kenny back. We need Kenny that fucking... I preferred Kenny with Callis. At least Callis did the talking and Kenny acted like a heel. Wow. I told you guys, as long as this company has a core group of fucking mud in the middle of this show, you're never, ever going to be able to grow your audience. As long as there's people that stop other people from getting over and climbing the ladder, this company will be fucked. And the mess men are here beating up Adam Page. Adam Page getting beat up by Mass guys. Okay. Oh, I'm not wrong. Oh, there's the double. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it, says Tony. Oh, and Paige gets... Why would you have Mans put through the windshield of your car? Now you got to drive away. What did Caliber just say? So we're going to go off the air with Adam Page now being the next victim of the Masked Man. Mox is the new Young Bucks no sell, hurt other pushes, and our average only puts himself over. I'm not even going to argue with you. That's spot on for me, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the show. I know this because I have curling highlights on my fucking TV. But yes, I will take your rating out of 10 on Dynamite tonight. Winner is coming. Would this arguably be the worst winner is coming that we've had out of the 3, I believe. No big surprises, no Sting, no Adam, no Christian. The Masked Man right at the end, and at that point, I had already given up on the show. Taz did say, I think his shoulder might have been up, so maybe that's a reason to run it back. Maybe 6.5 out of 10. I can't rate it higher than NXT. Can't. NXT was more entertaining last night. I hate to say it. The pace of the show, the cadence of the show, the matches. Overall, I believe that NXT was a better show than Dynamite tonight. And I will happily argue that with anybody. 5 out of 10, Swerve should have won. 7 out of 10. Hopefully, Swerve faces him down the road and eliminates him. Well, so according to Excalibur, and I feel like this is the part of the tournament they didn't explain very well. And I had people on here last week going, "Oh no, it's top 2." And me and Nick were trying to figure it out on Friday. So it's top 2 out of each side, right? So you have a semifinal. You'll get a final 4. So Swerve and Moxley might meet again. I think there should be a crossover to avoid that. But I really struggle trying to watch. Again, fine. If Moxley's going to win this match, fine. But you got to sell what Swerve's doing. You got to make Swerve look like a badass. Swerve's on fire. Swerve's killing it. And to me, I thought the Continental matches tonight, I felt like tonight got mailed in. Am I wrong? Like, I didn't feel anything tonight. And I praised a couple of the matches early. And I didn't think Moxley and Swerve was a bad match. I know some of the fans there were marking right out of like, oh my God, there was false finishes. But that's not enough for me. Maybe I'm just too picky, too mature. I don't know what the answer is. But man, I struggle with some of that shit. I struggle with watching booking that doesn't make sense. Brody King lost. And I'm a big fan of Andrade, who I think won't be in this company very much longer. But Brody King's a monster. A fucking monster. Him and his friends never get booked. Buddy's not around. Malachi hasn't had a singles match in fucking 300 days. I don't get it. I think Tony has a lot of talent. I think AEW has an amazing roster. Tonight just felt lackluster. To be honest, I would have had that spot with the Devil and Paige in the back. I would have done that right after we saw Paige, like briefly after. I wouldn't have saved it for the end because by the time you circled back to it, we were already kind of checking out. Yeah. And even that, was the beatdown that exciting? We've seen it. Like, where is this going? Now the Devil's still around, but I don't know. It just all lacked feeling for me. 5 out of 10, Swerve should have won. 6.5 out of 10. Can rate it higher than NXT. Yeah, I got that one. 6.75 out of 10. Moxley is the new Young Bucks. Got that one. The ending was pure bullshit. And that's how you know as a fan, like, this is the reaction you don't want from your fan base. A heel beating a baby face and you being bummed out. Ah, fuck, I can't believe they cheated. Ah, fuck, I can't believe it went that way. That's fine. That's allowed. But when it's not that reaction, it's, oh, shit, I can't believe they did that. That's different. And tonight, I feel like the whole show was, can't believe they did that. Swerve's left shoulder was nowhere near the canvas, so maybe they run that back. Maybe that's an argument. Ref's decision is final. I don't know how they'll play that off. But again, if you're going to run it back and Swerve's going to win, just have Swerve win the first fucking time. Because then you end a Dynamite with a bit of a, what the fuck? I can't get behind it. 6 out of 10. Yeah, I'm sure we will still watch, but now the focus will be on whether it was the right thing to do or not. SRS ruined it. Yeah, I think you guys are still talking about Ilya, but I'll have to follow up with you. We'll be back tomorrow and Friday to follow up on that. Did Mox really have to win that? Yeah. And again, I think that's the biggest dilemma with AEW. It is that core OG group. Again, does Chris Jericho need to be in an angle with Kenny Omega and Ricky and Big Bill? No. What if it was Kenny Omega and somebody that mattered? But it's not. It's Jericho. And it sucks. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Why is Riho going after Tony Storm? You don't have better talent that could take on Toni Storm? I don't get it. But again, it's her ties. It's who she's connected to. That's what matters most in AEW. And I know there's going to be people jumping on their after shows going, what a great Dynamite. It was fucking awesome. Way better than anything the WWE does. Nah, tonight lacked. Tonight lacked conviction. Tonight lacked. It felt like a lot of the wrestlers were going through the motion. It didn't have a lot of emotion. Yeah, I mean, tonight was a very felt mailed in. Oh shit. No! Shut up, C Money. Is that car made with real glass? And that is, I dude, that one, I was so bummed out about the Moxley shit. The real glass concept in the car spot went right over my fucking head. No. Selling as bad as Michael's overselling, it makes your opponent look like an idiot. I'll take the overselling, especially back in the day, over no selling, right? At least again, it does look stupid, but back in the day, a lot of things were a little more campy, so they got away with it. But yeah, I mean, a guy that sells big is always better than a guy that doesn't sell at all. And Moxley doesn't sell shit. Nothing. You go through this brutal match and you look no worse for the wear every fucking time. You could be bleeding from the fucking forehead, gushing, and I'm fine, I'm good, I'm Mox, I'm made of rocks. Get the fuck out of here. It's not good. I'm glad SRS cleared it up. I hate to think Ilya has been hurt for the whole week. Oh, so did the SRS clear it up, guys? Sorry. I know you guys were kind of going back and forth, and I'm ranting and raving about the product, AEW. But if somebody wants to clarify if Ilya is okay, you get it, guys. I didn't think 5 out of 10. If Jack Perry is in that fucking mask, oh my god, oh my god. What is your favorite show of the week so far? NXT, Raw, Smack, or Dynamite? Dynamite's not there. I think that's my third. I really enjoyed Raw tonight on Monday. For a 3-hour show, the energy was good. I mean, I think the Punk stuff left us kind of amped and ready to go. Good matches overall. Yeah, I'm gonna give a nod to Raw. Raw gets shafted a lot. Pause. Yeah, no, pause that. But Raw gets a Raw deal because of it's a 3-hour show and blah 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 blah. I thought for a 3-hour show, Trips filled it really nicely this week. The euphemisms in everything I'm saying right now is not good. 7 says Alexis. 6.5 says Safik. Welcome back. Why all the glass? It better not, dude. I'm getting vibes. Whew. The car spot. The minute I saw that in the chat, that car spot jumped out of my head. Fuck. It can't be, guys. It can't be. 6.25. Hangman thrown on a car, real glass. Yeah, fuck. Now, is that just to throw us off and make us think that? Maybe. The only thing I will caution Tony Khan on is if you try and throw up too many false finishes, but if you try and throw up too much false direction, too much misdirection, the audience can lose the plot, right? So you can't fake us out too much. But it's clearly not Adam Page anymore. Samoa Joe is still a suspect. MJF was not on the show tonight, so I guess he would be a suspect. Roddy's not around. Adam Cole was not around. And the glass and the car, oh my God. If it is Jack Perry, fucking hell. To me, again, that's booking. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. And it's the opposite, which got said in this chat tonight. And I apologize. I can't remember which one of you geniuses said it, but I'm here to make friends. I'm not here to make money. And clearly that's Tony Khan's mission statement is I'm just here to make friends. I'm here to play with my toys. And I don't care how much money we make or don't make. Swerve got screwed. Swerve got fucked. And I hate it. Ilya is one of my favorite wrestlers. To think he was out for 6 to 12 weeks was shocking. Yeah, dude, I would have been really bummed out. I love Ilya. I love what he's doing, and I know you're talking to Richard still, but yeah, I hope he's okay. I really do. I have no idea. Now I want to be. Now I want. Oh, shut up, Vance. I can't deal with that shit. Vance just wants me to fucking blow a gasket on fucking live. Dark Nightmares, why not? You don't like popcorn farts. I'll just leave that alone. AEW Creative was very good at a point. I don't know what's been happening. Listen. I've been a day oneer with AEW. I thought they were great in the beginning. There was obviously some indie stuff that I didn't love. Like some of the guys they brought in weren't ready for TV. They weren't the greatest. They were indie deluxe, the Joey Janela's of the world. But yeah, they had some really good shit once upon a time. And I was a defender of AEW. I was that person that went online and said, all the old fucks don't get it, and the Jim Cornettes of the world are fucking, talking out their ass. They don't know any better. But here we are, and I can't defend that. I can't defend what I'm watching. And if anyone, again, I'm all for a good debate. I thought there was some good matches here tonight, but it almost felt like going to a house show, like an exhibition in a lot of regards. And again, I just think things were placed funny. If you were going to do a squash match or a nothing promo and then have the Riho Ruby match there, maybe rearrange it so some of the matches are kind of paced better. But considering that WWE is the boring company, there was a great pace to WWE Raw Monday. NXT always has a good pace. Whether you love or hate it, it's paced well. It moves, it's exciting, it doesn't stop. But yeah, I found this show slow, and I found it just wasn't compelling. Is that fair to say? Like, it just wasn't compelling. I wasn't excited. Hey, ref's hand hit 3 times, but ref did not say 3 for Swerve. Okay, interesting. No, you're not wrong, KJ. 5 out of 10 show. I'm gonna go a little higher than you, John, and thank you for agreeing with me, but slightly higher. I'm gonna go 6, and that seems fair. I'm gonna give 2 points for every match that I really liked. Then give it a 6. No popcorn facts. That's what we deal with in the IWC is popcorn facts. 7 out of 10. A lot of good wrestlers wrestling tonight, but I question Swerve losing. And the Riho match didn't need to happen. Yeah, I'm okay. Like, I wouldn't refute. Like, a 7 doesn't really hurt my feelings too much in the sense of, are you crazy? Yeah, I think for me it was just even the good match. Like, Brody King losing really rubbed me the wrong way. Swerve losing really rubs me the wrong way. And again, I can't really critique the entertainment value of the show based on me not liking the booking, but I feel like Swerve's on fire, and Mox being 4-0 in this tournament, man. Again, it's like taking a third liner in hockey and putting him like on the first line, and he's out there just fucking dragging shit down. Like, if you're playing your third best group, go take your practice squad and start it on Sunday, on the football field, and watch your team get dusted with your best player sitting on the bench. That's what this feels like to me, is you have better talent that should be highlighted this way, yet you're highlighting the wrong people. 6.5. Sad one-woman match. And not even the greatest of women's matches. It was okay. It wasn't awful. Better than Rhea and Maxine. Went a little too long. But Ruby does another job. And I don't give a fuck about Riho versus Toni Storm. Like, to me, it doesn't even lend well. Tony's on fire right now. Toni Storm is one of the most unique talents you have in your company. How do you not have somebody that can grab a microphone and give her shit and make it interesting? Oh shit, can't wait for these women to scrap. Toni Storm should beat Riho in under 3 minutes. She's gonna go 20 minutes with her and potentially lose. The devil had his minions break his own windshield. He must see money, man. I get you, bro. That's exactly my first thought. Why are you throwing them on my car? Hey, fuck up my windshield. Wait, what? You trying to get an insurance claim in, bro? What's going on? Yeah, didn't make sense to me. There should have been another car nearby. Maybe Adams. Throw him through Adams' car. Where's Roderick Strong's car? Fuck, throw him through Tony Schiavone's car. Actually, Tony Schiavone probably got a ride in with somebody. Real shame they didn't. Real shame they did the injury angle on a taped show. We could have. Oh, I see what you're saying. So Ilya's getting hurt is an angle, but it's leaked out because it's taped. That's the internet for you, my guy, and yeah, it'll be very interesting. I'm just happy to hear that Ilya is going to be okay. Was anything on the license plate? Shit, I'm broken. I didn't catch it, man. I'm sorry. I was too busy bitching and complaining. But that would be cool. It should say "Cry Me a River" on the license plate. Angel Flores, Sipon versus Golder. Okay. Daniel, 8 little swerves out of 10. All right. A little too high for my taste, but I'm okay with that. The double is way too big to be Jack Perry. Listen, I still don't. If I was booking this, the people currently in the costumes will not be the people that are revealed. That to me is keeping a secret 101. Wardlow put the suit on. So and so put the suit on. So I want people misguessing. I feel you, but I saw the theory online. What if Mello hired Ridge to injure Ilya? So Trick. Okay. Affleck. Here's about. I'm gonna call last call. I see this chat just rolling, and I love clicking all these and chatting with you guys. But I want to go to bed, so I'm gonna click through a few more. Here's the bad part about Mox has 12 points. Both Swerve and Jay White have 9, and Rush has 6 points. Jay faces Mox, and Swerve faces Roosh. If Mox and Jay tie, both go through. Swerve has to win. Facts. And again, I thought tonight was going to be a draw because I know the booking of Moxley, right? Who's the only person that Tony Khan was willing to take out Moxley? Well, his other best favorite guy, Orange Cassidy. And they trade titles, and here we go. I don't like this. I struggle with this, guys. Hangman thrown on a car, real glass. Yeah, Richard. A lot of people. Now, is that on purpose to get everybody to say what we're saying? Or are they hinting at the return of Jack fucking Perry? And Jack Perry as the masked man going after the world champion does nothing for me. When they did the Pillars match, Jack Perry was the weak link out of the 4. So Jack Perry going after MJF does nothing. Does not tickle my fancy. Does not float my boat. It does not fucking do anything for me. Nothing. Nada. Zip. Zero. Zilch. Nothing. Could it be injuries? I don't know what that's referring to. Tony is low-key a Satanist. It better be Tony in the fucking mask. The only way I'm going to get over this now. It's fine if you want to push Mox as one of your top guys, but you need to read the room. People want Swerve. 150 fucking %. And again, ebbs and flows. You can't just have your foot down on the floor with Moxley forever. Take your foot off the gas. Let him float somewhere else. Let him put a couple guys over. And that's what bothers me the most about the Bucks and Moxley and Jericho. They don't put anybody over. They are hurting the company more than they're helping it. Everybody wants to talk about CM Punk was the cancer. CM Punk was hurting AEW. The call is coming from inside the fucking house, people. It's the guys that are fucking pointing out the cancer that are the cancer. Facts. AEW is turning. Again, Nick's at home right now doing this. Just all over the walls in Nick's apartment is fucking WCW. WCW. He's losing his mind like Jim Carrey. Yeah, fuck. He's right, man. He's been right for a hot minute on that. Edge finally getting his Christian match for it to end horribly, and now we don't know what's next as he missed Dynamite this week. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I really feel like coming off last week, you had to correct. You had to have them come out. You had to have Edge come out and say, "This is bullshit. I want Christian in a cage." See what I did? But you had to do something, right? You got nothing. And that's what I mean. I feel like tonight lacks substance. Tonight was going through the motions. Mox with Mox's gimmick and the time that Mox has put in with this company, Mox does not have to, always win. Again, to me, it's hurting your company. It's the reason why your ticket sales are down, your merch sales are down, your numbers, your analytics are fucking down. And people, they're gonna make 100 and blah 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 in revenue. Yeah, how much are they profiting? Apparently none. They owe money. Oops. I've kind of seen Mox as the final boss of AEW. If Swerve ain't winning, at least go to draw. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I had of like, okay, Mox doesn't like to go under. He makes fucking job face every time he does. At least take the point off him. Nope. And what bothered me more, I think, was Swerve comes off the top ropes and drives his feet into this man's chest and gets rolled up. Mox rolls out and he's fine. Like it never fucking happened. Never happened. At least have Mox get stomped. Maybe he kicks out at 2. Swerve goes to pick him up. He's barely able to get up. And Mox hits that fast roll up. Now you're into something. Now you believe it. Oh, fuck. But it's just so cookie cutter. It's so going through the motions. All right, you did your cool move. Now I'm going to pin you. Make me fucking believe. Tell me a story. Where's Cody Rhodes when I need him? Or Adam Cole, sorry. If Adam Cole is the devil, what is the story? Doesn't make sense. Yeah. Now, are they just, that's what I kind of said earlier. If you deviate too far from the actual fact of, okay, if it's Adam Cole and there's a couple red herrings, a couple, suspects that aren't, are just false suspects. They're the first guys that get their door knocked on it, in Law and Order, where we think it's that guy, but then they move on to other people. If it's not that, if you go deviate too far from that, when they go back to Adam Cole, then you're like, well, why the fuck did they do all the other shit? I don't know. I honestly, they have me so confused on this. And now I'm actually convinced it's going to be Jack Perry, which is fucked. I kind of see you got that one. Yeah, Shivani's just take it's Sting. No, it's me. What the fuck? Why Brody losing so much makes no sense. Again, it's the same thing with like the Unbroken. I agree. Like Gates of Agony, these two big fucking guys that come out and they lose to Darby and Nick Wayne. What the fuck is happening? You tell me that's good booking? You tell me that makes sense? You tell me you want me to endorse Tony Khan as Booker of the Year watching shit like that? Get the fuck out of here. And you listen, I think Andrade's a great talent, but Brody King's a fucking monster. Why is Brody King not just killing people and taking names? I don't get it. Adam Cole wants MJF's title. He was pretending to be his friend to gain his trust and then finally betray him by wearing MJF out, by defending 2 belts by himself. Fair enough, but then it doesn't really make sense that Adam Cole would take out Adam Page. Geeky was on the first line for Boston tonight and scored a goal. Third liner's first line. Fuck you. No, Boston, your third liner can play with your first liner. I'm okay with that because the first liners are supposed to enhance the third liners. It's when you're using your third liners like their first liners and your first liners are sitting on the bench doing nothing. Is that fair? Just to clarify. Such a smart ass, my guy. I appreciate you, though. It's like WWE is making more sense right now. I'm still watching AEW regardless because of the roster. I love the roster. I love the shows. 2 weeks in a row, I think I was a little disappointed. I think on paper, the last 2 Dynamites were really good. And I think winter is coming. People kind of assume like cool things have happened. And maybe we would get some cool shit tonight. But yeah, I'd like to think that right now, I'm enjoying the WWE product. I'm enjoying the storylines. I'm enjoying how they're putting things together. Are they perfect? No. But I can't wait till Friday. I want to see what happens Friday. Roman's coming back. Randy's there. What's going to happen? Are you excited? I'm excited. What are you excited for next week on Dynamite? What can't we wait till Saturday to see? Maybe a couple more Continental matches. But is there any big story that has to play out on Saturday? Not really. Is there any big rivalry that we're boiling? It's boiling over. We got to come to a conclusion. Not really. Give the women more TV time. Give them quality TV time. Give them quality angles. Put people in the right positions to succeed. Why would you pretend to be MJF and MJF's friends for all this month? For all these months? Yeah, now I'm starting to question that myself. I think he was MJF's friend, maybe, and then just kind of got over it. I don't know. I think that it's funny. Nick and I had a big debate on here whether or not they should end the mask storyline at Full Gear, and I'm really starting to feel, and I know Nick feels this way now too, that they probably should have ended at Full Gear, because the longer this goes, the worse it's getting, and the less, like, now we're almost getting to that point of like, just tell me. You never have like a friend like, hey, man, guess what? Like, you'll never guess. You're like, bro, just fucking tell me. That's what this feels like. That's facts. To betray him, Adam Cole said the thing in NXT would be friendly for a while, then kick the opponent in the face down. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that, right? The best friend, you sold us on the vulnerable. MJF's never had a buddy before. He's never played video games with someone else. You know, he's never gone out and jumped on a trampoline with a friend, which makes him look all types of fucking sad, to be honest, guys. But yeah, to your point, I was still okay with some of that, but I don't know where we're going. I've been saying that for a while now, but they're not just doing match with the roster, and it sucks. Yeah, listen. I've said it a million times as I'm going to tag up and head out, but Tony Khan has all the ingredients for a beautiful fucking meal, and he just can't figure out how to put the recipe together. That's it. He might be cooking, but he's burning everything. He's fucking undercooking shit. He's not putting things in the right place. He's mixing the wrong shit together. He's got all the fucking ingredients and a full kitchen that money could buy you, but he just can't figure out how to get the fucking meal in front of the fans and let us feast. Is that fair? Is that a fair analogy, folks? I think that's kind of where I'm going with this. AEW losing a ton of money. Yes, they are. When's the next AEW pay-per-view? December 30th, World's End. Kevin Owens' brother. I've heard that a couple times. But thank you. Fellow Canadian. Much love. Looking forward to SmackDown this Friday as well. It's going to be great. I can't wait for Roman return on Friday. Absolutely. All right. If this one's a good one, I'm going to tap out on this one. Oh, wait. I got to get Smile Mark in. I just want to see AEW build new talent. Lots of repeat matches. Isn't that the complaint about WWE? Oh, fuck. They're booking these guys again. Oh, fuck. We got this again. Now it's an AEW thing. It's funny. More and more as each day goes by, Tony Khan is becoming a young Vince McMahon in his booking style, his booking patterns, and his favoritism. Think about it. I don't think I'm wrong. I think Punk had enough and lashed out at Jack Perry backstage. Tony felt like he had to preserve the locker room, so he fired him. But yes, WWE gained a lot. WWE has the structure Punk needs. And Punk looks happier than a pig in shit, my friend. He looks like he's having a great time hanging out with Cora Jade and Roxy and bumping into Kofi. You're just making me crazy. Fuck, guys. Listen, I've been a fan of AEW from day one. 2023 has not been the best year for AEW as we get close to the end of this year. Tony needs a come to Jesus moment. And I know fans out there are going to be like, best show ever. It was fucking amazing. Moxley rules. But that's only a small percentage of the fan base. Right now, you're under delivering. And right now, we need more as a fan base to get into this. Ring of Honor should be good. Paige versus Nice. I quit match. We will be here Friday for that as well. So it's going to be a fun Friday night. But ladies and gentlemen, on that wonderful note, I can't thank you guys enough for hanging out with me for the last couple hours, listening to me rant and rave and sometimes cheer and sometimes not. Damn near cried a couple times. But no, this channel, myself, Nick, Luna, Anthony, we love that you guys tune in and hang out with us on a daily. We will be back tomorrow for Impact. That's going up, so make sure you click that little bell. Friday, we got a triple header. Saturday, we got Collision and some other stuff, I think. Maybe. We don't know yet. And then we're going through the holiday seasons. We got our year-end review coming. Go vote on the awards on our page, community section. Go vote for the annual for Life Fees. That is coming up on December 28th. We want your opinion on who is your favorite from this year. More categories and more fan votes are coming out. We started off with the first few. More coming your way. More merch coming your way. Click all the links below. Don't miss a minute. Catch us on social. We have it all. Twitter, Instagram. I know X, but it's always going to be Twitter in my head. And TikTok. Go check out our TikTok as well. And once again, the fact that you guys even spend a minute with us is greatly, greatly appreciated. It's humbling, and we will do this again tomorrow. Good night. But no, thank you, thank you, thank you. And until then, I will see you on the flip side. Have a good night. Tony Khan, figure your shit out.